hard work, planning, and funding, we officially have broken ground and are excited about this investment into our children and our community. Our students are going to benefit from many amenities in this new facility, including, but not limited to, a student-run bistro for our students to earn hospitality seals towards their graduation and to learn the fundamentals of being an entrepreneur and operating a business. A 25-year-in-the-making dedicated robotics area for our students. An esports area that will house our esports program that we are piloting to our school district this year. 2 sets of academic stairs like you would see at a college university for our students to study with their classmates. There will be a 6-lane indoor running track, a 3-lane walking track on the mezzanine level, and a large open floor multi-use space for all of our sports programs to use throughout the year. When completed, Mollenkopf Stadium will have a brand new marching band shell and locker room. We realize the disruption that this will cause for our games, and we appreciate your patience. We know this investment is needed and worth it for our high school students and will reflect on the opportunities that our children in the Warren City Schools will see at the college or university level. We want to thank you again for being with us tonight at Mollenkopf Stadium, for your continued support, and as always, go Raiders.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Warren G. Harding Raider cheerleaders. And now, let's meet our Raider cheerleading senior class of 2023. Amaria Bercini. Imari Edmonds. Ashley Ellison. Kerrigan Riley. Sydney Strother. Once again, let's hear it for your 2022 Warren G. Harding Raider cheerleaders. Mollenkopf Stadium. Let's meet our Warren G. Harding Raider Marching Band senior class of 2023.
Gabby Welker, trombone.
Luke Rose, tuba.
Emma Adams, clarinet.
Lene Stevenson, flute.
Kara Parker, flute.
Cadence Host, trombone.
Zion Williams, flute.
Imari Edmonds, majorette.
Haley Kozak, clarinet.
Lashea Williams, flute.
Lacey Kinter, flute.
Haley Meisel, mellophone.
Sierra Williams, baritone.
Logan Stanyard, tuba.
Vidal Brown, mellophone.
Donovan Price, saxophone.
Nigel Glover, mellophone.
Ethan O'Malley, trombone.
John Waldman, tuba.
Kaylee Abel, majorette.
Madeline Zucchero, trumpet.
Abby Bungard, trumpet.
Arena Ramsey, field commander.
Brooklyn Brown, trumpet.
Olivia Dunn, field commander.
Liliana Bass, snare drum.
Thank you, seniors, for your commitment to the Raider Marching Band, and we wish you great success in your years to come.
Okay, testing.
This just in. The 1971 Warren G. Harding Panthers will go down as the last football champions determined by the Associated Press. The OHSAA has just announced that starting with the 1972 football season, the champion will be determined on the field through a playoff bracket system. What city, what town, what team will own the first football championship earned on the field?
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to our home sidelines for the 50th anniversary celebration of the first OHSAA playoff system football champions, our 1972 Warren Western Reserve Raiders.
Pregame, I have the honor to say welcome to Molotov Stadium. But tonight, the honor is greater to say on behalf of the Warren City Schools Board of Education and the Warren G. Harding Athletic Department, welcome to the 50th anniversary celebration of a 1972 Class AAA football champion, the first team to earn it on the field, our Warren Western Reserve Raiders. Warren is home to 7 state champions, but tonight it's about these guys returning 50 years later to celebrate their second football championship here in Warren. At this time, let's focus on the video board as we have a 1972 season recap.
In the summer of 1972, hundreds of Ohio schools learned the 72 championship would no longer be picked by the AP, but earned on the field in playoffs. and a high school only around for 6 years was determined to be the first. The Raiders' 72 season began at Mollenkopf with a 26-0 victory over Collinwood. Week 2 earned a 7-0 win over Austintown. Week 3, Raiders 14, Barberton 0. Week 4, Raiders 37, Jamestown, New York 0. Week 5, 14,000 fans, Mollenkopf Stadium, arguably the best rivalry in high school sports. Warren G. Harding Panthers 14, Warren Western Reserve Raiders 21. Week 6, 34-12 versus Cleveland JFK. Week 7, 36-20 victory over Akron St. Vincent. Week 8, Raiders 26, Akron Hoban 7. Week 9, Raiders 20, Cuyahoga Falls 0. Week 10, win and become the first undefeated Raider football team. Win and go to the first semifinals game in OHSAA history. Raiders 28, Lorraine 0. The semifinals. Raiders caught off guard early 0-15, a battle to a 23-15 victory. November 25th, 1972, 16,000 fans, Akron Rubber Bowl, the first OHSAA state championship game. Cincinnati Princeton 6, Warren Western Reserve Raiders 37. The Raiders would go undefeated and bring home to Warren the first ever state championship earned on the field and become our 1972 state football champions.
Tremendous undefeated championship run in 1972. We would like to thank our sponsors for the 50th t-shirts that the champions are wearing tonight from Artistics, and our photographer, Jessica Brocious Photography. Now, before we introduce these champions that have returned back on the sidelines, we would like to announce the 72 Raider champions that have passed, but their legacy will live long here at Mollenkopf Stadium. Let's look back at the video board.
Sheldon Avery, Malcolm Baker, Ross Browner, Tyrone Davis, Brian Decree, Michael Hampton, Howard Jones, Willie Lewis, Phil Linton, Edmund Usakis, Burl McGee, Myron Miller, Bill Pumphrey, Delbert Reed, Barry Sims, Bob Tipton, managers Charles Tucker, Grant Barnes, Coach Harry Beers, Coach Dave Campbell, and Coach Lauren Less. Once again, let's hear it for those champions that have passed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was the traditional Western Reserve run-on fanfare and fight song. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the Warren Western Reserve Alma Mater, performed by the a cappella and Madrigals Choir, directed by Mr. Keith Rising and Miss Mary Meese. As part of tonight's tribute to the traditions of the Warren Western Reserve High School, select band members will be wearing traditional uniforms dating back to the beginning of these uniforms, brings back members for all of those to have ever worn and memories for this uniform. Cheer on our Raider Band. Up next, the band performs the official state song of Ohio. Here is Hang On Sloopy.
evening, Warren, Ohio. Welcome to Mollenkopf Stadium. It's week 5 already of the 2022 high school football season. And boy, I hope you guys were with us earlier tonight. We had a ceremony honoring the 72. Warren boys got a man over the middle, and that ball's complete for a touchdown, Raider! He throws it downfield down the sideline, and it's caught for a big gain for the Raiders. And there's a big hit in the backfield for a loss. Hits it in, touchdown, Warren Harding.
Yeah, very actually moving ceremony to see all the former players coming back, see the fans come out to support that 72 championship game. Before they were honored, there was a nice little ceremony over in the corner here where the former players got to huddle up with some of the our players today, and I'm sure they sent them a message on what it means to go out there, what it means to compete, and more importantly, that brotherhood, that all of them still feel. My wife's uncle was on the 72 team, and that's all we talked about last night. Being able to get back here and see some of the guys that we used to play with, broke those balls with. This is a special night for them, and hopefully it'll be a special night for the Raiders.
This is throwback night, so when the Raiders take the field, you're going to notice they will be wearing the colors and the uniforms of those born Western Reserve Raiders. Raiders coming in tonight at 1-3, hoping to get back on the winning side of things after getting beat at Massillon last week. But the road isn't easy. The Raiders play host to the Youngstown Ursuline Irish. They come in at 3-1, and this Irish team, this is a big athletic football team.
Yeah, we're looking at the lineup here. It looks like they're going to probably average a good 260 across the line. Freshmen played them last night. They had a pretty good size across the line. Look to see the traditional team that you see out of Ursuline. Well coached, disciplined. They're going to come in here. They're going to be big up front. They're going to have some really good position players. We're looking to see the quarterback's gotten off to a pretty good start this year. Looks like Jack Erickson passed for 741 yards this year. Last week, lost to Austin Town, ended up being down big early, and ended up making it a really close game. I believe it was a 35-42 game at the end, so Harding knows he's got his work cut out for him tonight. Coming off last week, you want to get back on the field and get that win call, but definitely do it in front of this Raider crowd.
Road to success. Another player to watch for the Youngstown Irish, the running back, Christian Lynch, who is averaging over 200 yards per game so far in 4 games this season.
I welcome you to the big
for the Raiders to take the field. We'll have the national anthem, and then we will have the kickoff very soon. So stay tuned, Raider Nation. Friday Night Lights are about to begin.
They better zoom in. Yeah, got the city on smash. Now the whole world know where the real talent at. Before you hit the turf, gotta lace your cleats first. Warren City, stand up till both of your knees hurt. Hey, take a seat. I promise you gonna see.
Let them know that I'm a champion.
Come witness history only.
Let them know that I'm a champion.
First string, it's a Dub City thing. It's time to go get a ring.
Let them know that I'm a champion.
We on the road from Mollenkopf to the goal. Game time, bang mode.
Let them know that I'm a champion.
Never ride the bitch, I am a Raider boy. Got the eye of the tiger, but I'm a Raider boy. Turned up, I'm hoping you feel the same way. This is only practice, imagine me on game day. You can try, but it ain't no stopping it. Shut the critics up, put a sock in it. Rest in peace, Corey Stringer, he a force skill. My destination is greatness, Paul Warfield. Yeah, small city doing big things. Dub City, my city on the big screen. Long time coming, we want the whole thing. Never let them take your
playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
national anthem performed by the Raider Marching Band, and we are all set for a kickoff. Teams getting ready to take the field. I believe, watching the toss earlier, that I believe Ursuline won the toss. They defer. They're going to be kicking off. Harding's going to go on offense first. They will be moving from left to right across your computer screens this evening.
Harding coming in tonight, facing a team coming that's hungry. Ursuline talked about the pregame. The game they played last week against Austintown Fitch, a tough Austintown Fitch team, ended up being able to come back in the end, make that a competitive game at a 35-42 score. Went down to Massillon last week. Obviously, things didn't end up how we wanted to see them. With a big Massillon victory, it was nice to see our quarterback, Dallas Jett, back. I believe he threw for 1 touchdown and it ran for 85 yards for the other one. For Raiders to have a good game tonight, as we talk about, it's going to get established with Dallas Jett behind center there. So look for them to try to come out to try to establish some type of run game to be able to open up that passing game underneath, be able to stretch the field where they need to. But once again, the defense is going to kind of have to come up big for them. So we're going to get to see Dallas Jett that offense here to start out the game.
Javante Jones, Raylan Weaver, Devin Boss, they are back and set to receive this kickoff. And it is a short kick to midfield, taken there at about the 28-yard line. Ball brought out to about the 38. The Raiders are going to have good field position to start as they take the field.
Yeah, Tom, looked like they were trying to catch him off guard there, something a little in between, seeing if maybe that up man didn't have the confidence in the ball, maybe he get to bounce around a little bit for a quick turnover, but the Raiders were right there, going to start out with great position out near the 40-yard line. Coming into this game, I believe we had about 85 degrees. I think it's only about to get down to maybe the high to mid-60s. You know, one of the things we want to watch out for is the cramps that we've been seeing a lot of in the early part of the season.
Dallas Jett, number 10, brings his team on the field. He is flanked by number 5, Javante Jones, in the running back spot. And the give is to Jones. He's forced back, gets around the end, gets back to the line of scrimmage. There's a flag on the play. Jones gets it out to about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get Nazir Coleman back there for a hold. He tried to sustain that block, maybe a little too long there. Unfortunately, looks like that's going to set the Raiders back to start out the game.
5-yard gain off the handoff at first down. That's going to be negated by the penalty. The Raiders are going to be forced back 10 yards. That's going to bring up a first down and 20 as that moves the ball back to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, talked before about discipline. Always, you know, you see these Ursuline teams coming in, well-coached, disciplined teams there. It's going to be difficult. You get yourself in that 1st and 22, dig in the hole. Let's see what they do to try to make this a second and manageable.
Najee Jones down here to the left. That's Devin Boss in motion. Jett's going to roll out to the left. Jett's going to keep it, get through the line of scrimmage. He's going to get a few yards back. Jett's still on his feet out to about the 33-yard line. And some good hard running there by Dallas Jett.
Yeah, that's what we've seen at Dallas all year. All gas, no break. You know, it doesn't matter if he's dropping back in the pocket, if he's running the ball, or if he's back deep on a punt return. He's going to give you it all. Also on defense, you know, Coach Arnold puts him out there at corner safety. He's an all-around athlete, leader of this team. Good to see him back under center after that tough hit we saw him taking. I believe it was week 3.
It's going to bring up a second down and 16. Raiders at their own 33-yard line. Raiders send 3 receivers out to the right. And Jett drops straight back. He's looking that way. Jett fires the ball long downfield.
He went for it. You could tell the referee went for that flag, thought twice about it. He's going to look at that as incidental contact. I don't mind that. Unfortunately, it's going to bring up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 16 here, but just testing that defense early, seeing where the safeties are, seeing how the corners are playing, but more importantly, just sending a message to try to push that defense back a little bit to help opening up the run game.
Dallas Jett looking for Devin Boss on that last long throw, and again, the incidental contact. Boss loses his footing. 3rd and 16, 10:49 to play. We are in the early going of this Week 5 contest between the Raiders and the Ursuline Fighting Irish. Again, 3 receivers out to the right side. Jett back, looking down the left sideline. And that ball is going to go out of bounds. I believe the catch was made, but it was out of bounds.
Yeah, Jet found that one-on-one coverage down the far sideline there. Looked like Ursuline brought a blitz there from the high right side. He was able to find that one-on-one coverage, threw it out there for that 50-50 ball. Unfortunately, just a little more real estate, and that would have been a great catch, but unfortunately it's going to bring up 4th and 16 for the Raiders.
Jacob Lawrence on that play with a nice grab, unfortunately out of bounds. That's going to bring Jake Doherty in to do the punting, 4th and 16. And looks like Harding's going to burn a timeout early. Number 2, Will Burney, was back to receive that kick for the Irish.
You watch the replay here. He's got that one-on-one coverage. Receiver 23, that's Jacob Lawrence, goes up with a nice one-handed catch down the sideline. Unfortunately, just ran out of real estate there.
Early in the first quarter, Harding, or perhaps I should say reserve tonight, as it is throwback night. They warned Western Reserve Raiders with the traditional "We Will Win" slogan emblazoned on the back of those jerseys. Those aren't names on those jerseys. Those all say "We Will Win," much in the way the 72 state champion Raiders had on their jerseys back in the day. And again, Burney back to receive this kick for the Irish. Doherty gets up a high spiraling kick. That's going to take a Raider bounce, and they're going to call that one out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. So Doherty gives the Raiders a little bit of breathing room, and the Irish will take over. Big, hard-pounding offense to watch out for coming up now.
Yeah, we talked about the size of that offensive line up front. No doubt Ursuline's going to look to come out here and establish that line of scrimmage. I would assume establish that run game and really try to impose their will on the, it looks like we've got it. Let's see, is that going to give a first down?
We get a roughing the kicker penalty on that play.
Yeah, that's roughing. That's not in running into. That I think that's going to result in a first.
So it looks like the Raiders may well be keeping the ball here. We're going to have to wait a little bit to see that Irish offense, as the Raiders are going to stay on the field. They are moving the chains. It's going to be first down Raiders at the 49-yard line. So a little break early for Warren Western Reserve.
Yeah, those are the type of miscues that the Raiders are going to need to take care of tonight. Talked about that big holding penalty on first down that put them in a hole. They got bailed out there by that roughing the kicker penalty. See what the offense can do to take advantage of the opportunity.
2 receivers up left, 1 lone receiver down here on the bottom. And Jet with the handoff. That looks like Devin Boss around the end. Javonte Jones around the end. And Javonte Jones lowered the boom on that one and gets the Raiders another first down.
You know, I think you heard the class of 72 right there. That's the way they used to hit. You see Jones, he comes around, uses his speed to get the corner. As soon as he does, he turns upfield, lowers that shoulder, and delivers the boom on that corner, coming up a good another 4 or 5 yards after the tough run.
High school section. 1st and 10 at the Ursuline 42-yard line for the Raiders.
High school section, high school students.
Jet's going to keep this around the right end. And Dallas Jet's going to move the pile ahead for a few. Looks like he gets 4 or 5 on that play for first down.
Yeah, I like how they're mixing it up here with a combination of the backs. Jet there, you saw him come around that corner there, kept his feet moving, kept his knees churning, was able to get, a good 4 or 5 yards out of something that could have easily went for a 2-3 yard gain.
Gain of 5 on the play. 2nd out of 5.
It's Chaz Coleman coming down here to the near sideline. Javonte Jones stays in there behind Dallas Jet. 2 receivers up on the top. And this time they give it to Jones. And Jones is met hard at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 on a loss of 1 there. Try to get up the middle. They were able to get penetration there with number 56. That's Isaac Lucas, came in with the hard hit. Have him listed there at 6'4", 278.
Weaver and Najee Jones up on top. Chaz Coleman down here on the bottom. Devin Boss in the slot. Jet drops back, looks over to the left, and that ball is wide left. That's going to bring up another 4th down for the Raiders at the 38-yard line of Ursuline. And it looks like the Raiders are going to keep the offense on the field on this edge.
Yeah, interesting part of the field here. Don't want to take a chance of putting that in the end zone. He feels comfortable with 4th and 6 and how his defense has been playing in some of the past games, really keeping them in and keeping those games competitive for the offense. Defense has really stepped up all year. Coaches are showing their faith in him here, going for it early on a 4th and 6.
4th and 6 play. That's Najee Jones coming down here to the near sideline. Jet drops back, straight back. He gets over the middle to Devin Boss. Devin Boss takes a big hit. He gains a few. Ball pops loose, but he was down. They get a couple on that. They're going to turn the ball over to the Irish. Irish are going to take over on their own 36-yard line. 1st and 10 with 8:27 left to play here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you could tell they were trying to take advantage of some aggressiveness. They let those linemen through, knowing that they had this bubble screen or this inside screen ready. But unfortunately for the Raiders, Ursuline didn't really bring a big blitz there. They had plenty of people back waiting for that play to snuff it out in order to stall out that drive. They're going to get in pretty decent shape here at about their own 36-yard line.
And that looked like number 56, big Isaac Luke, is peeling back to knock Boss down on the reception. And there's the handoff to Lynch, and Lynch is taken down the backfield in the first play for about a 5-yard loss.
A lot of penetration there. Another name that we've been calling all season there, Nazir Coleman, coming off of the left edge there, able to get good penetration and stop him for a loss.
Jack Erickson, the Ursuline quarterback, setting up his offense. They've got 3 receivers out to the right. And again, Christian Lynch, who's racked up a lot of yards so far, but Erickson's going to drop back. A lot of coverage. He can't find anybody open. He's rolling out to his right. Finally gets it off, and that ball is knocked down. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and long, and the defense stepping up early.
Yeah, that looked like 19. Backup quarterback Drew McCown, who stepped in brilliantly for the games that Dallas Jet was out. Got him out there on defense. Made a diving save there for the incompletion.
3rd and 13 for the Irish.
See if they choose to bring pressure.
And Erickson drops back again, gets the ball out.
Nice.
Big hit. Very minimal gain on that play. The pass was complete. Dallas Jet doing it all already.
We talk about him on offense, but you see him on defense. Just a textbook form tackle there. I think that little pep talk that the class of 72 had with the class of 22 might have put a little pep in their step for tonight. Big hits here early on in the game.
That pass was complete to number 2, Will Burney, and he was hammered by Jet. And now the Irish are forced to punt on a 3-and-out on their first possession. Low snap. That ball is taken by Jet. He's going to field it. He's going to bring it out to about the 38-yard line. And again, the Raiders are going to start with very nice field position.
Yeah, pretty identical to the beginning field position off of that short kick. Going to have great position here. Was able to get a little bit going on the ground. They took some shots deep early. Wasn't able to work out, but was able to stretch that defense a little bit to open up the running game. We'll see what they come out here and try to establish here on their second drive.
Harding defense standing up strong to that huge Ursuline offensive line early on. Raiders taking over for their second possession of the ball game. 1st and 10 at their own 38. 6:59 to go in the first quarter. Both teams trading punts so far. And there's the handoff up the middle, and there is nothing open on that play. Now we get our first glimpse of Ryan Powell.
Ursuline coming with a simple 4-3 base defense there. Inside man was able to get position there, just waiting for Ryan Powell, was able to swallow him up for a loss of 1.
2nd down and 11. And this time Jet's going to roll out to his right. He's keeping again, trying to get around that end. Jet makes it around the end. Jet out of sideline. Jet has gone around the end. And Dallas Jet all the way 63 yards for a Raider touchdown.
Dallas Jet strikes again. Right around the right end corner. Looks like they pulled the lineman over here to give him the convoy. Got it along that sideline. Able to tap dance through the traffic down the sideline. Turn on the Jets for a 63-yard Raider touchdown.
Dallas Jet on the quarterback keeper. Gets around that end. Skirts down the sideline. And Jake Doherty comes on for the extra point.
Big play here. We saw a couple miscues in the past couple games. We'll see if they've got it corrected.
High snap. Drew McCowan does a tremendous job corralling that snap, and Doherty splits the uprights, and your Western Reserve Raiders take an early 7-0 lead over the Youngstown Irish.
I'll tell you, the fans in the stands got to like what they see tonight, exactly how they wanted to come out, playing tough defense. You saw with some big hits, you saw those running backs coming around, getting that their shoulder pad level down, delivering some blows to those linebackers, all culminating in Dallas Jet around the right-hand side, tiptoeing his way through the traffic for a 63-yard touchdown. We'll see that this momentum can carry them on. We talk, Ursuline's a tough team, and we know that. You know, this is going to be this is a big challenge for the Raiders tonight. But as we move through this first quarter, the defense and the offense are both showing that they're up for the task.
What you're going to want to see now, a lot of emotion on that Raiders sideline. This kickoff team, they got to maintain their lanes.
Yeah, we remember last year. Last year, Ursuline went up big on Harding. They came back late, and it all fell apart with a line drive kick to the return team. He took it right up this near sideline for a touchdown, and the game was over. So obviously, we talk about how important all three of the portions of football, offense, defense, and special teams, got to get down there, stay in your lanes, maintain the discipline, make the tackle, get your defense on the field.
Will Burney and DC Farrell back deep for the Irish. They have Farrell listed at an average of 36 yards per return so far this year. And Doherty's going to kick it to the other side. And there's a return up the middle. All the way out to the 45-yard line. And the Irish are going to have really nice field position. That was number 10, Jaquise Lyson.
Yeah, Jaquise Lyson, one tackle away from being able to take it all the way there. Luckily, we had two guys back there to make the tackle. But like we talked about, get that defense on the field, play hard-nosed like you've been doing, put some pressure on. The biggest thing that I look for when I'm watching the defense is, what are they able to do? Are they able to get pressure on the quarterback without blitzing? If they can do that and they can keep if they can keep those corners, those linebackers back and get pressure with just those front four, the defense is going to have a great time tonight.
Erickson back, that's Burney in motion. Erickson's going to keep it coming around this left side. And Erickson will only get a couple out to the 47. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Swarming defense, that's what you want to see. 11 hats to the ball. Everybody rushing over there, making sure you're not waiting for somebody else to make the play. Great way to secure that play there for only a gain of 2.
Burney and Farrell, the wideouts on this side. Keep an eye on that running back, Christian Lynch. They're going to want to get him going as soon as they can. He's put up some numbers this year. That's Donlow in motion. Farrell in motion. Farrell's going to get the call around the right end. And he's going to pick up 5 or 6, make it a 3rd down and about 3.
Tried the end around there. Nice sustained block by their right tackle there, but the DN was able to fight that block off to not allow him to turn that corner to keep that to a minimal gain and bring up a 3rd down.
3rd down and 3 at the Raider 48-yard line. And this goes to Christian Lynch. And Lynch is going to pull ahead for the 1st down, get it down to the 44. It's 1st and 10 Irish.
A strong run by Lynch there. 2-3 yards after contact. That's what you want to see if you're on the other side there. Just keep on churning those legs, keeping those knees pumping, moving forward for the extra yard. Just going to give Ursuline a 1st down now in Raider territory.
And they give us again to Lynch. Lynch powers ahead for another 3, gets it down to the 41-yard line. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7. 4:30 and counting here in the first quarter. Raiders off that 63-yard end-around run by Dallas Jet on top, 7-0. Erickson's going to keep this one, and Erickson's going to get hit in the backfield, and that looked like number 16 once again. Nizier Coleman meets him back there.
Yeah, kind of a RPO there. Had a choice to keep it or take it back. The quarterback took it back. Nizier Coleman made the right choice there, picked the right guy for a big loss. Going to bring up a 3rd and 8.
3rd down and long for the Irish. And Erickson drops back. Tries to get it out to Lynch. It throws it behind him. That ball goes out of bounds.
That's interesting. That ball did look like it was behind him. Are they going to rule that a fumble and out of bounds where it went? Or marked it down where it went. They're discussing it now.
That ball looked like it went backwards.
That ball should be marked where it went out of bounds. That if it was a backward pass, and it looks like they are moving the ball marker.
They are moving the marker back, so the Irish lose yards on that backward pass that went out of bounds. That's going to bring up 4th and 14. And once again, the Irish are forced to punt, and the Raider defense hanging tough so far. Dallas Jet back on his 10-yard line to receive this one.
Another outstanding effort by the defense, going to put the ball into Dallas Jet in that offense's hand.
There's a low line drive kick, and Dallas Jet's going to watch this one. And it does just bound into the end zone. It's going to be 1st and 10 Raiders at the 20-yard line.
Well, we saw the first for the first time we saw Ryan Powell enter the game. He's really been the workhorse in the backfield for the Raiders for these first 4 games. We'll see how they utilize him in the offense coming up. Now we also saw some shots deep to try to loosen up that defense with the kind of runs that the Raiders have been taking. I expect to see Ursuline really want to stack around that line to take those runs away and force the Raiders to be able to pass their way out of this defense.
Dallas Jet gets a man open. He has shown to be accurate with the long ball, so we'll see how that all works its way out. And it looks like Ryan Powell returns to the backfield. He sets up the Dallas Jets right. Jet with a quick out and maybe 1 yard on that play. Devin Boss is brought down immediately on that reception.
Ursuline played that screen well there, able to fight off the block, get through there, and stop that for a minimal gain.
2nd down and 9 for the Raiders at their own 21-yard line. Chaz Coleman, Devin Boss, Jacob Lawrence. Those are the 3 trips over here to this side.
Yeah, false start.
And that's an encroachment on the Irish. So the Raiders pick up 5 on the offsides penalty.
Right now the Raiders winning the penalty war in some crucial situations here. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 4 and really open up the playbook for Coach Arnold and the offense.
2nd down and 4. Penalty brings the ball out to the 26-yard line. Big winner tonight. Jet looking over the middle. That ball is almost picked off by number 15. I believe that's DC Farrell.
Yeah, might have looked that receiver down a little too much. Dallas Jet's got the legs, but one of the things that I don't think we talk about often enough is what a strong arm Dallas Jet have. And when you have that type of arm, you think any window's big enough. But right there, the corner was able to jump that route quickly. Luckily, it didn't go back for 6, but going to bring up a nice 3rd and 4, 3rd and very manageable.
Chaz Coleman, Devin Boss coming out here to the near sideline. Ryan Powell in the backfield. Jet's going to keep it. He's looking for an opening, keeps his feet. Jet around that end, and Jet fights ahead for a Raider 1st down.
I'll tell you, he showed a lot of wiggle on that one. I think he made about 3 or 4 guys miss. He could have easily been hit for a loss or maybe a gain of 1, but just sheer determination. Watch the footwork if we get a replay here of just everything he did to make sure that he fought hard for this 1st down. Probably a good another 2-3 yards after contact.
First and 10 Raiders at the 32-yard line. And again, that's Coleman, Boss, Lawrence on this side of the field. I believe it's Najee Jones up there on the top and Ryan Powell. And this time Powell gets the give, and Powell's going to get met in the backfield. Barely makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Early on, Ursuline able to keep Powell in check, getting good penetration on the front four there.
No gain on the play. Brought down by a host of Irish.
That big defensive line for Ursuline there, closing up the middle.
Yeah, some big guys with speed. Like to see the big guys with that closing speed out there. You see that big hole, and then all of a sudden it gets swallowed up by some of these big guys with footwork.
Coleman, Boss, and Lawrence once again on this side of the field. Jeb Truss back. He's looking over this way. He's got Devin Boss, and that ball is broken up by Will Burney.
Had Boss early there. Ursuline was sitting back in his zone. You'd have really liked to see Boss have sat down there. Unfortunately, continued that route to follow the pass. Ran him into a defender. Boss went up. Boss, like we talked about, 5'6", I think they got him listed at, but the kid plays over 6 feet tall easily. He's not afraid to go up there and make a play. That time he went up, maybe stopped an interception, but had a good possibility. But once again, going to bring up a 3rd and long for the Raiders.
3rd and 10 again, and again, it's Coleman, Boss, Lawrence. They are the trips on the near side. Jet's going to roll out to this side. Jet looking downfield. Jet, he's it long. He's looking for Najee Jones. And that ball is just knocked away. DC Farrell again on the defense.
Yeah, DC Farrell, nice play out there. Had the one-on-one. Safety was making his way over late. Dallas saw the one-on-one ball there, went deep for it, but we got to give credit to the defense there. Nice play on the deep ball. It's going to bring up a punting situation for Harding.
Jake Doherty steps in to punt once again. Burney and Farrell step back for the Irish. Something the Raiders haven't seen a lot of this year. You got Irish, you got a lot of two-way people on that sideline as well. So far this year, played a lot of teams. You guys can go single platoon. Now you got another team over there with a lot of two-way guys. We'll see how that shakes out by the end of this game. Another high spiraling kick by Jake Doherty. That is fair caught at the 37-yard line. And the Irish will set up 1st down and 10 with 1:05 to go here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, you talk about, going both ways. In the early odds with the heat and everything, you see a lot of cramps. A lot of that coming from these two-way players. But we talked about this before. How you don't come to two-a-days to get in shape. That's something that's got to be done in the off season during the summertime. But when you start going two ways, you get into the 4th quarter, you kind of see who's got it and who doesn't.
Burney and Farrell, they are the wideouts to this side. That's Don Lowe in motion for the Irish. And they hand off this to Lynch. And Lynch is met again in the backfield. That's a 1-yard loss.
Christian Lynch, the ball carrier, takes it over the right side.
What the Raiders' front four lacks in size, they make up in speed and quickness, and you see it on plays like that.
Tamari Jackson got in the backfield to bring Lynch down for that loss. 2nd down and 11. And this time the quick pass out to Farrell. Farrell gets it outside around the end, and then he'll get a 1st down, get out to about the 49-yard line. Make it the 47-yard line, maybe just a tad short of the 1st down. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and a very short one, 3rd down in inches.
Ursuline's been unsuccessful on their run game, so they're running these screens. They're basically just long extensions of a run.
And this time Lynch gets the 1st down. The ball's loose. There are flags all over. Well, those aren't flags. Those are the fumble markers. We got mixed up by that a couple weeks ago. The refs are throwing these brightly colored markers on fumbles to see where the ball was. But Ursuline picks that fumble up, and it is a 1st down Irish in Raider territory at the 47-yard line.
Ursuline lucky to keep the ball there. Another big hit here in the 1st quarter.
There's some finger pointing down here, so we're going to see who it was. And that is going to be procedure call on the Irish. The right side of that line, a little anxious.
Yeah, a little anxious early on here. Ursuline with a few mental mistakes. These penalties piling up on them, putting them in very precarious positions here early on.
Brings up a 1st down and 15. That pushes the ball back to the Raider side of the field, or the Irish side of the field. They're on their own 48-yard line. The give is to Christian Lynch. Lynch gets through the line and gets it out to about the original line of scrimmage, brings up a 2nd down and 9, gets about 6 on that play.
Yeah, hard run there, kept his legs turning. We talked about him being the workhorse for this Ursuline team there. You saw with that style of running there, just hard nose, taking that first hit, yards after contact. That's going to bring it up to a 2nd and 9 here at the end of the first.
That's the end of the first quarter at Malakoff. Your Warren Western Reserve Raiders on throwback night. They are going to take a 7-0 lead into the second quarter against the Youngstown Ursuline Irish. So far, Ed, the defense is standing up to that big bruising offense that Ursuline's touted as having coming in here tonight.
Yeah, we talk about, I've always said, there's no substitution for speed. They've obviously got the size over there on the Ursuline side of the ball, but what we've seen all year is, although we may be a little undersized on the front line, that what they lack in size, they make up for in speed and quickness, and they've been able to use that all year to be able to disrupt plays in the backfield and give quarterbacks fits. You see at this level, you see a lot of shotgun, but you also see a lot of mistakes with those snaps, and with the type of quickness that these guys got. They know you can't let those offensive linemen get their hands on you. They're just going to maul you. They're too big. But if they can use their speed and use technique to get the outside and beat those tackles and use some techniques on inside, to be able to really make a push up front, that's where you've seen the success come from this defense, is with the speed and the athleticism and putting them in positions to just get those big guys off guard and use that athleticism to be able to get back in the backfield and disrupt the plays.
Starting off the second quarter, the Irish will have a 2nd down and 9. They are at the Raider 47-yard line. And Erickson again, he fakes the handoff. There's a pass over the middle of Will Burney. He's hit hard, but not before he gets an Irish first down inside the Raider 35-yard line.
Ursuline quickly back up to the line. Nice find by the quarterback there. I think Harding showed a blitz, so they cleared him out with another receiver for a wide open pass and a first down.
And another quick pass, this time to D.C. Farrell. Farrell gets around the end and gets inside the 20-yard line for the Irish. Another first down, Ursuline.
Was able to read his blockers out there, had a wide receiver throwing that lead block. He was able to spring him to the corner there, use that speed to get upfield for a first down now inside the Raider 20.
1st and 10 at the Raider 19-yard line. And this time the handoff is to Christian Lynch. Lynch gets through the middle, gets close to another first down inside the 10-yard line.
This is where you see that size, though, start to come into play as they just wear down on you. And with the speed of the game here, they're just going to try to impose themselves. I wouldn't expect anything other than just runs up the middle now behind that offensive line.
2nd down and 1 at the Raider 10, and there's a flag. And that's going to be an encroachment call against the Raiders, and that will give the Irish a 1st and goal at the probably the 4-yard line.
See, to get the big guys in and out there, try to switch up depending on what they see on that down and distance. But this is where that size is going to start to come into play as you get into the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th play of the drive.
1st and goal Irish at the Raider 5. And there's the handoff to Lynch. And Lynch is going to stack him up near the goal. He finally bulls his way in. Touchdown, Ursuline.
Lynch got behind that big offensive line and just kind of followed his blockers in. Had somebody on him, but his will got him into the end zone there. It's going to be right back to where we thought we'd be with an attempt at an extra point to tie this up here in the beginning of the second quarter.
On the kick for the Irish, number 35.
Lynch is not the biggest running back you'll see all year long, but you don't get all those yards if you're not running hard. The extra point attempt is up and good, and with 11:10 to play in the half, we have a tie ball game, 7-7.
Yeah, they got Lynch is listed at about 5'10", 181. but you can see it's the style of running. I mean, he's kind of small. He can get behind those big backs and kind of stay hidden. But the way he keeps that pad level low and keeps those legs churning, you can see why. I think he's averaging about 200 yards a game. And Ursuline hasn't played any slouches. I mean, these are pretty decent schools that they've been going against, but give a lot of credit to that offensive line up there for being able to just wear those defensive linemen down through the game. Lynch comes in there as the workhorse, able to stack up the yards and really put the team on his back. And when you got a runner like that, it really, really puts the other team in a disadvantage, the way you can run the ball and keep that clock moving, maybe take 5-6 minutes for a drive that takes half of a quarter, and really makes it difficult after you score to put the other team in a very bad position because they just eat the clock up with that run game.
Javante Jones, Raylan Weaver, and number 6, Devin Boss, all back to receive for the Raiders.
Kicking off for the Irish, number 35, James McGlone.
And this time they kick deep. It's going to go down that sideline.
Oh, got to let that go out of
and
bounds.
I believe that touched Javante Jones over there. So that's going to be Raider ball at the 12. Little mental error there. Cost the Raiders about 20 yards of field position on that one.
Yeah, really got to let that one go. That's a gimme by the Ursuline Irish there. A mistake. That ball should have went out of bounds. Would have been good, better field position for the Raiders here.
Raiders take over first and 10.
But now you see what happened. You know, the Raiders came out. We talked about some real good defense that we saw in the beginning. You know, some hard hits, just some hard-nosed football. But Ursuline struck back. We'll see what the Raiders have to answer.
That's Weaver, Boss, and Coleman. They are the 3 receivers down on this side of the formation. Ryan Powell remains in the game at running back. He lines up to the right of Dallas Jet. Jet's going to keep this one around the right end. Look for some room out there. Finds a little bit and gets about 6-7 yards on that first down play. So Jet giving the Raiders a little bit more breathing room on that end of the field.
Yeah, Jet's been doing it all night. You know, when they need it, getting those crucial yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 4 here. We'll see if they stick to the ground or if maybe take another shot deep. He's found some one-on-one coverages, just unable to make the completion due to some good defensive back work by the Ursuline Irish.
2nd and 3 at the 19. And this time the handoff is to Ryan Powell. And this time, Powell's able to move the pile ahead, and that is a first down, Raiders.
Yeah, nice run by Powell there. What we're used to seeing this year, him moving the sticks with that hard running and that big body. He's built for it. Easily could take, 20, 25 carries a game. I think they're going to need to establish that. They're not going to be able to just go strictly through Dallas Jet tonight. I think this Ursuline team's too good. Somebody else is going to have to get off and really start to establish themselves, whether it's on the outside or the inside with that running game.
Javante Jones is checked back in at running back. That's a pickup of about 1. Gets it out to the 25-yard line. Brings up a 2nd down and 9. Jones on the carry that time.
Yeah, I like this look. I think this is the first time we've really seen the offense put that 3rd runner in there with Dallas Jet obviously at quarterback and running the ball, but keeps the running backs with fresh legs in there. We'll see how that works on the defense as the night goes on.
Jacob Lawrence, the lone receiver down on this side. 2nd down and 9 at the 25-yard line. And Jet's going to drop straight back. Looking long once again out to that sideline and way too far out. Looking for Devin Boss over there. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, tried to hit Boss on a fade route there. Once again, good coverage by the Irish. As you see, the corners seem to be staying with them in that man coverage. Probably want to check down and see something underneath. See if you can find somebody with a nice quick 5-10 yard pass. Let him use his athleticism and get it upfield.
That incomplete pass brings up a 3rd down and 9 at the Raider 25-yard line. 3 receivers up on the top, you see there. Jet back once again. He's looking over here. He finds Jacob Lawrence, and Lawrence is hammered and separated from the ball that time by number 15, D.C. Farrell. 4th and 9, and the Raiders are going to have to punt it away.
Dallas Jett made the right read there. Receiver hooked up quick, put it on him, but unfortunately just unable to hold on as the big hit coming in by the DC Farrell there. We've been calling his name all night.
Bernie and Farrell there back deep. And a nice spiraling punt from Jake Doherty. That's going to take a Raider bounce and get up inside the 30-yard line. Jake Doherty looking, it's a shame you have to call his name punting that much, but he's doing a nice job with it.
Yeah, Jake, we talked about him, you know, from his freshman year on. Been a constant here, somebody to depend on. We talked about they were having a little problems with the snap and the hold, which caused some issues. But Jake Doherty has been a standard for this team for the last few years. We talked about the importance of being able to depend on whether it's the extra point or getting 3 when you find yourself in tough situations. So, good to see Jake back on it. Nice punt there, going to start the defense out in a pretty good position with the ball inside the Ursuline 30-yard line.
And this time it looks like DC Farrell is going to take the snap for the Irish.
For maybe some Wildcat action here.
And he's going to toss it out looking for Bernie over there, but that pass goes incomplete.
Number 15, DC Farrell.
And I don't see Erickson checking back in. So, well, actually Erickson's in the slot over there on the far sideline. So Farrell and Erickson have kind of swapped positions for the moment.
Yeah, gives that defense another look. I'm not sure if they found this in films. You know, you don't know if one's more of a passer or more of a runner, but obviously keeps the defense on their toes.
And that's Bernie in motion. Farrell's going to keep this, and Farrell's going to get hit in the backfield, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and long for the Irish.
You know, thus far all night in this first half, the Raider defense has really stepped up on the run. That's why you're seeing Ursuline resort to a lot of these screen plays. Because they're just that front 4 is just shutting down the Ursuline running game.
And again, Farrell stays in at quarterback. That's Erickson. He's up there in the slot. Bernie in motion for the Irish. He's looking for Bernie again out there in the flat. This time Bernie gets it around the end, but he's going to be short of 1st down. Brings up a 4th down and 4 at the 35-yard line. We'll see if the Irish want to take a gamble here. I see it looks like the punting team's, I'm not sure if they're checking or not. They're starting, and yeah, it looks like the punting team is on the way on the field, and the defense stands up once again.
Tom, that was Dallas Jett out there once again running that corner, putting a lot of pressure on the wide receivers to get those blocks down. Dallas Jett able to string the runner out, fight off of his block, and use that sideline as a 12th man to bring up this 4th and 4 here.
Dallas Jett again. He is back to receive the punt. And another poor snap on the punt for the Irish. And he manages to get that punt off. Oh, a little risky play there, but that gets the Raiders some field position. But that was a chancy play there by number 9, Aris Coleman Bay.
Yeah, lucky it worked out. But yeah, saved a lot of field position there. Aris, we talk about use your hands. Aris went up, used his hands there, saved a lot of field position, and
I think there were a lot of hearts and throats right there.
I think the coach is telling him, nice play. Don't ever do it again.
I got to hear Lou Brown from Major League right there.
Yeah, exactly. I cleaned it up a little bit,
yes,
though.
Yes. Oh, my. But the way that ball was going, Aris probably, as risky as it was, probably saved the Raiders 15, 20 yards of field position on that. That had to look for a ball that was going to bounce and roll for a while.
Line drive, that could have been inside the 5-yard line, so saved a lot, and now let's take advantage of it.
1st and 10 Raiders at their own 34-yard line. That's Devin Boss in motion, and that's who Jett is looking for. Boss picking his way through, gets back to the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up 1 on that play.
Yeah, Devin Boss looking for some room out there, trying to get his way through, able to wiggle through with it for a gain of 1 on that long screen. Both teams here trying to stretch those defenses out. You're seeing a lot of screens being ran by both teams, just trying to stretch that defense out, open up that middle for some plays later on in the game.
2nd down and 9 at the 35-yard line. Najee Jones, Raylan Weaver, they come down on this side. And there's the handoff to Powell up the middle. Powell trying to fight ahead, and he's going to lose a yard on that play. Ran into a big wall of Irish on that one.
Early on, you really got to give it up to both defenses' front fours. Just really, neither side can really establish anything up front. Like I said, that's why you're seeing a lot of these screens, but really give some credit to both sides. Their front fours are just playing phenomenal tonight, just totally shutting down running games on both sides.
3rd and 10. Ball goes back to the 34-yard line on that play. 6:15 and counting in the first half. We have a tie ball game. Weaver and Coleman, they split out on this side. Jet drops back, and he's looking this way. He's forced out to his left. Lets it fly down the middle. He's got a man a little bit long. Looking for Devin Boss down the middle. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 10.
Going for the deep ball again. Looked like his twin receivers up top there, the one that ran the short drag over the from the right-hand side, had something open there, but Dallas was rolling out to the other side. Unfortunately, couldn't see him there in that zone defense as the safety sat back there. But once again, give it to Ursuline. Great defense. Going to look now for Hardy to do the same thing.
Doherty on again to punt once more, and another high spiraling punt, and Doherty is really putting the ball back here. That ball is still about the 27-yard line from Bernie. Bernie up the middle, past the 50, inside the 40. He's got one man to beat. Bernie inside the 30, and a big return for the Irish. Will Bernie all the way down to the 27-yard line.
Talked about the booming kick from Jake. We call that out-kicking your coverage. Weren't able to get down there. Gave Bernie too much room to be able to get those wheels moving. He made a couple guys miss, and it was just off to the races. A lot of credit from the punter there to slow him down, for the defense to be able to stop that from being 6 points. But they're going to have it now deep into the Raider territory.
Gets it all the way down to the Raider 28-yard line with 5:43 to play and a half. And the Irish are threatening here late in the first half. Erickson back in a quarterback, hands it off to Christian Lynch. Lynch breaks it outside. Lynch inside the 15. 1st and 10 Irish inside the Raider 15.
Ursuline going back to what worked on that last drive, just really getting behind that their front five there, trying to wear down this Raider front four defense.
And now the Irish is playing a little bit of hurry up, and Erickson is forced to keep it. He's going to get no gain. He's hit hard on the sidelines over there. That was Javante Jones who met up with him.
Yeah, drove him out of bounds there. We've got a flag. Looks like it might have been a hold on the outside wide receiver there. Let's see what the officials are calling.
No gain on the play.
Or they got to call him a little bit too far out of bounds. I don't know.
I think that flag came down first. I was looking to see because it was close. I think the official would have dropped his hat because he had already thrown a flag out.
Still talking about this penalty call. We're not sure what it is yet. Still some conferencing going on out there by the Zebra crew. Waiting to see what this penalty is. We're still not certain.
Yeah, he threw it early on, and he threw it out there by the near side wide receivers. That's why I was thinking you were going to see a hold there. But from what the side judge is doing here, offsetting personal fouls. Oh.
Had an extra man on the field, or a man didn't get off the field, possibly because
the fast-paced offense.
They are snapping it quick right now, and that's gonna push the Irish up a little bit inside the 10-yard line. 1st and 5 at the Raider 9. Erickson back in the game at quarterback. He's got Lynch off to his left. Pass over the middle, and that's complete to Bernie for an Irish touchdown.
Yeah, simple slant route over the middle. The linebackers had vacated, so it was a simple one-on-one pitch and catch over the middle there. Irish are going to take the lead on that play. You can see the linebackers started looking into the backfield. They both stepped up. That cleared out a path for that 5-10 yard pass over the middle on that slant pattern. Going to put them up now 13-0 pending the extra point.
Will Burney on both ends of that drive sets it up the long punt return and then finishes it off with a touchdown catch over the middle. And here's the extra point attempt, and it is up and it is good. And with 5:21 to go here in the first half, the Youngstown Ursuline Irish have taken a 14-7 lead over the Warren Western Reserve Raiders. Still some discussion down there in the extra point area. It looks like personal foul against the Raiders, maybe roughing the kicker, but that's going to let the Irish kick off 15 yards ahead and probably set them up for a touchback. The Raiders may be looking at 80 yards to try to come back and tie this game before the half.
Yeah, it's going to be an important drive here. I believe Ursuline's going to get the ball at the half. Raiders did start out with this in the beginning of the first quarter. So you want to put something on the scoreboard here. And if you can't put something on the scoreboard here, you want to make sure that you don't leave the Raiders with any, the Irish with any time left on the clock. Hate to see them get something before the half, getting the ball to start the third quarter. So you got 2 timeouts left. You know, the running game, it's all going to go through Dallas Jet. You know, he's already pressured the corner a couple times, been able to get upfield, got some decent yards. That's where the 63-yarder came, was from him pressuring that corner up there. Really like to see him on some rollouts, pressuring that corner, making them make a decision, and giving him the opportunity to be able to tuck that ball and run, or maybe find something over the middle there. And let some of these athletes get the ball in their hand with some space and make some plays.
And I think with the Irish kicking off at the 45-yard line, I'm not entirely sure that an onside kick isn't out of the picture. Ursuline may try to hammer a nail in really quick here off of that.
No, absolutely, and we saw last year some of the problems that they've had recovering some of those onside kicks. We'll see. It looks like they do have a hands team.
Kicking, and that's Farrell doing the kicking. That's not their regular kicking, and he is not.
He's lined up,
and the Raiders aren't picking it up.
There it is.
A little pooch kick over to the sideline. They're going to let that one go out of bounds. That's going to help the Raiders. They'll get the ball at the 35 off of that, so.
Really,
I don't know what they were trying to do there, but it wasn't executed too well.
Right, that you couldn't have asked for anything better if you're the Raiders there, given the opportunity, as you rightly pointed out, ripe for a onside kick right there, due to where they were going to kick the ball off. Didn't have to worry about the field position necessarily. Worked out great for the Raiders there. They're going to get it. 5:21 left, 2 timeouts. Really want to establish something here. You want to take as much time of the clock as you can, move this ball down the field and get something on the board. If not 7, you're going to want to cash this in for at least 3 points, be able to go into the halftime on a positive note.
So the Raiders are going to get the ball with decent field position. And the refs are conferring once again. I would think that they should put the ball at the 35 with that kick going out of bounds. They haven't moved to that position yet.
Yeah, a lot of huddles from the officials tonight, but at the end of the day, you know, they just want to get it right. So if you need a couple more minutes to talk this out, confer with both sidelines, these kids work too hard for some of those mistakes out there by the adults. So glad to see that they're taking their time, trying to get the call right, make sure that as we talked about before, you know, the 72 team winning the championship on the field, you want the kids to decide the game, not the referees.
Looks like Harding is going to take the penalty, and they're going to force Ursuline to re-kick it. They're going to take the procedure penalty on the out-of-bounds kickoff. That's going to push the Irish back to the 50-yard line to kick it off. Remember, they were kicking on the 45 due to a personal foul penalty on the extra point. Harding is going to make the Irish kick it over and see if they can't do a little better with this one.
Interesting decision there. Like you said, the ball went out of bounds, illegal procedure penalty. I think that would have got the Raiders the ball at the 35. But I think what Coach Arnold wants is, he knows he's got 3 dynamic players back there. He wants the ball in their hand in space to give them an opportunity to create some offense.
And now the Irish regular kicker is back in, so I'm assuming this will be a full-fledged kickoff this time. And it is a deep one. And that's going to go the end zone, and another flag, so Irish may have gone a little bit early.
Well, let me tell you.
That's exactly what they did. Now they're going to push him back to the 45.
You know, I'll tell you, at this point, this kickoff team has just done 2 sprints. And Harding's been able to, the Raiders have been able to just sit back. We'll see what type of toll running down and making coverage on this is going to have on Ursuline trying to cover this kick here. A couple of these guys could be winded. It could work out in the advantage of the Raiders.
I can remember from my days, one of the things I hated most is being on a kickoff team and practicing kickoff after kickoff after kickoff.
Absolutely.
I know what you're saying there.
Make them do it again. Make them do it again. I mean, it's a sprint. You're just doing wind sprints.
So now the Irish kick team is back almost to where they would have been in the beginning. They're kicking off from the 45-yard line after 2 consecutive procedure penalties. And the Raiders just making them do it over until they get it right. And this time the kick is fielded at about the 1-yard line. That looks like Javonte Jones. Jones breaks the tackle. Jones outside the 30. And nice run back by Javonte Jones from the 1-yard line.
Now they're going to take over about the 32, 33. You might look at that and say, well, if they would have just stayed with it at the beginning, I think they'd have had it at the 35. But I think 2 things. 1, make them run that sprint again. But 2, give your players an opportunity, and I think that's what the coaching staff was going for there, is to try to get the ball into the hands of some of those playmakers in some space to see if they could make something pop. You saw it almost happen there, but still pretty good field position out at the 32-yard line.
And emotionally, a return like that's got to give that offense a little bit of a spark as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you see anybody working hard, you see anybody, really out there busting their butt for the team, that's motivation for everybody. Let's see if that can go over to the offensive side here with 5:11 left in the first half.
Jones stays in the ball game. He lines up the Dallas Jets right. Jets going to keep it up the middle. Jets going to get a few yards up there. It looks like about 4. Brings up a 2nd down and 6 at the 36-yard line, approaching the 5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Another RPO there. The option to give that to the running back. He thought he saw the room up the middle. He pulled it back at the last second, able to get a nice 4-yard gain. That clock's still ticking now, under 4 minutes.
Coleman and Boss, they are the 2 receivers down here. Najee Jones, I believe, is the man on the far sideline. And Jet keeps it again. Jet's got some room. Jet turns it back, gets around the corner, out to the 45-yard line. That's a first down, Raiders. Out to the 45-yard line. Clock will stop as a chains move.
Jet found his way through the line there, able to get 12 yards. We talked about as Dallas Jet goes, so goes this offense. You're seeing it on this drive here.
First down and 10, Harding. They've got the ball out to the 46-yard line. 4:15 to go in the half. Raiders still with 2 timeouts on the board. And this time the handoff is to Jones, and Jones brought down in the backfield for about a 3-yard loss. Little knife action there by that edge rusher on Ursuline.
Yeah, it looked like they might have brought a blitz from the high side there. They weren't able to pick that up, was able to make that disruption in the backfield for that loss of 3.
2nd and 13 for the Raiders. Jacob Lawrence down here on the near sideline. And Jet finds, it looks like Nazir Coleman, number 16 out there.
Yeah, was able to find him out of the backfield. We talk about that closing speed. Linebackers were able to get over there quickly, able to stop him before he was able to get any kind of momentum going. Going to keep that now at a 3rd and 9.
4-yard gain on that reception. We're coming up on 3 minutes to go in the first half. Raiders trying to put some points on the board before they head to the locker room. Once again, the Irish will begin the second half with the ball. So the Raiders would like nothing more than to put a couple points on the board before that happens. 3 receivers come down here. That's Coleman, Boss, and Weaver, I believe.
Here comes a blitz.
Jet gets out of the pocket. Jet around the corner. Jet's got some running room. And Dallas Jet down to the Irish 40-yard line. And another Raider first down.
I think they brought all 3 linebackers there. Dallas Jet able to avoid that rush. Nobody left in the middle for him, as you can see. As he drops back, here comes the blitz. Pretty decently picked up. He was able to use his speed to get to the outside. Plant that foot, cut back across the grain for another 3-4 yards for a Raider first down.
Raider ball at the Irish 40. 2:15 to go in the second half, and the Raiders are on the move. Jet with the keeper again. Gets ahead for about 2, maybe 3 yards on that play. Down at the 37-yard line.
Popped off. I think that's going to make him have to come out for a play.
Jet loses his helmet. He's got to sit for a play before he goes back in. Drew McCowan's going to check in for a play here. Second down and 7 at the Irish 37-yard line. That does stop the clock.
Now we've seen Drew when he gets in. They're not afraid to run the ball with him. He's shown the ability to pass. He likes those underneath throws. We'll see. It looks like he'll probably only be in for the one play that Dallas Jet had to come out for. We'll see what the coach chooses to do with his second-string quarterback under center.
Sophomore Drew McCowan checking in. Dallas Jet's got to sit out a play. He lost his helmet on the last one. Najee Jones and Devin Boss, they are wide right. And we have a flag down.
It's like some movement on the right-hand side, possibly. A lot of conversation tonight. I think they're talking about if it was before the play, I think that should go back to 2:01 on the clock.
Well, it doesn't look like there was any penalty. They're going to pick that up, it looks like.
Yeah, no,
and
nope, still talking about it.
Now that I think they're looking at the clock now.
Yeah.
It's one official pointing at the clock.
It looks like they ran about 4 seconds off. I believe it was at 2:01 before anything transpired there. But if it was a dead ball, false start, then there they go. Putting the time back on the clock
back
now.
to 2:03 left in the half. It's second down and 7. Okay, now it looks like we've got all our ducks in a row. We're ready to get this thing going once again. Jones and Boss on the far side. Jacob Lawrence down here on the near side. Ryan Powell is in the backfield. Sorry, that's Javonte Jones in the backfield alongside Drew McCowan. And they give us to Jones. Jones gets outside. Jones looking for some room. Javonte Jones gets it down close to the first down, and that last little bit of effort might have gotten it. And I believe he did. They are going to move the chains. That's a first down for the Raiders on the strong running of Javonte Jones.
Jones got that corner, used some spins, used a jab, little dance moonwalk, got him up there for a nice 13-yard gain to move the chains.
Ball down to the Ursuline 28. First and 10 Raiders. Minute 45 to go in the half. Dallas Jet checks back in. Again, Raiders trying to get on the board before the half. And this time Jet's going to keep it again up the middle. Jet's got some room. Jet breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle. Jet inside the 20. Jet all the way down to the Irish 17-yard line, and another first down, Raiders.
I couldn't catch the number, but as Dallas Jet was running, somebody grabbed onto his leg. A Raider came up, was able to use a block to knock him off there to get Dallas Jet to spring him for another 4 or 5 yards. They're going to use their first of the 2 timeouts they had left here with 1:19. Having that timeout's going to really give them options. You know, with 1:19, no timeouts, you're going to look heavy pass. Right now, I think you can still keep the defense on their toes with the opportunity of some runs, knowing that you've got a first net, knowing that you have a timeout. Right about here where he knocks him off there, able to get him, spring him out there for an additional 4 or 5 yards.
Raiders using their second timeout of the half. 1:19 to play. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at the Ursuline 17-yard line, trying to put it in for a tying score before the half.
Exactly what you wanted to see from the Raiders. They came out, hit Ursuline with that first punch in the face. You wanted to see how Ursuline would respond. They were able to come back down, tie the ball game up, and then answer with some defense and another score. Going down 14-7. Not a big deal as long as you can answer on this drive. Even if you can't punch it in for 7, you got to put something on the board right now to be able to go into that locker room on a high note.
That is Boss and Lawrence. Actually, that's Eris Bay in motion. Jet's going to keep it again. Jet's get through the line of scrimmage. Jet inside the 15. Jet inside the 10. Loses the ball out of the end zone.
It's going to be a touchback Ursuline ball.
And that is ball's going to go to Ursuline. It gets out of the end zone. And the ball is going to go to the Irish on the 20-yard line on an absolutely horrible break for the Raiders.
Dallas Jet's been everything on this drive. He's out there and he's really using his elusiveness. That time there, you see he got a little loose with the ball. You see it kind of out there in the arm like that. Want to keep that high and tight, as they say. Nice hit coming from the side there, right on the ball. Just great circumstances for Ursuline. Unfortunate for the Raiders that drive's going to go for naught here with 1:10 left in the first half.
And now if you're the Raider defense, you've got to watch Ursuline maybe trying for that home run ball here late in the first half.
Yeah, they've got all 3 timeouts. Everything's open to them, but safety's got to stay deep. Nothing big.
And there's spread. Erickson's back.
He's got somebody
He's got a man
beat.
way down the field here. And Erickson is hit hard in the backfield. Big sack for that Raider defense.
Raiders not giving up. A lot of time by the quarterback. You see him as he's dropping back here. He finally saw that receiver open downfield, but it was too late as that Raiders blitz in came in and gave him a big hit for a loss.
And that pass out to, looks like Bernie over there. Bernie gets it out to about the 27-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Safety's got to stay deep.
The Irish are going to call a timeout.
Safety's got to stay back. They've been running those long screens all night long. Here with 30 seconds left on a 3rd and 2, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a double pass. Try some little trickery here as you get to the end of the half. You know you've been seeing that screen all night long. Safety's got to stay disciplined, got to stay back on their receivers.
34 seconds to play in the first half. Irish with the football at their own 28-yard line. A 3rd down and 2 coming up. Irish getting the ball as the Raiders were driving, and Jet had the ball knocked loose, and unfortunately it squirted out through the end zone, resulting in a touchback, giving the Irish the ball on the 20. 34 seconds to play, and the Irish are trying to make something happen here late in the first half because they know they get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
It'll be interesting here. You got a 3rd and 2. You assume the Irish are going to play tough here. They've got 2 of their timeouts left, so I can see them running the ball here. If we're able to stop them, though, we've got that 1 timeout. We can force them into a punting situation, and with the type of athletes we have back there, they can break a run from anywhere on the field, so it's still a dangerous situation.
3rd and 2. And this time the handoff is to Lynch. Lynch is going to get the first down. He's going to be brought down hard out at the 38-yard line, but not before the Irish move the chains. There's 29 seconds remaining in the first half. This time Erickson steps back. He's looking over here. He's got Lynch out here by himself in a screenplay. The Raiders converge quickly, only giving up 5 yards on that. 2nd down and 5, and the Irish are going to use their second timeout with 19 seconds to play at their own 43-yard line.
Raiders did a nice job converging on that screen, being able to take them down inbounds after that 5-6 yard gain. Going to leave them with 19 seconds here. The clock's going to be against them as they're on their own 44-yard line-ish. But I think you talked about it. You got to make sure. We saw on that on the play where you had a receiver that was a good 10 yards behind the safeties. Everybody's got to make sure they stay back. Nothing big here in this last 19 seconds. Go in down 7, talk about the defense, make your adjustments, come back out here and play a strong second half.
Second down and 4, 19 seconds to play. The Irish have the ball at their own 44-yard line. They have 1 timeout remaining. Erickson and Lynch are in the Irish backfield. He's got 3 receivers up on the top. And that's where he's looking. He's forced out to his right. Erickson's going to bring the ball out of bounds.
Number 4, Jack Erickson. Run out of bounds by number 58.
It's going to stop the clock, though. It looks like they're going to be short of the first down.
Looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
That brings up a 3rd down and 4 at the 44.
Harding still has their timeout.
Bernie and Farrell are among those 3 up on top. They're the guys to watch.
Want to get some pressure with the front 4. Here they come. Watch the screen.
And again, a heavy rush by the Raiders. They got the hands up and they disrupted that pass. That brings up a 4th down and 4 with 8 seconds left to play, and the Irish are sending on their punt team.
That was an interesting play. You saw the offensive line let the defense through. You would have thought that was going to be more of a middle screen, but he decided to go back out to one of his favorite targets out there. Missed him completely. Ball goes out of bounds, going to stop the clock. Give Harding the opportunity with one of our return men to possibly make something happen here with 8 seconds left.
Harding not setting up for return right now, so I believe number 9 is their punter. So, yeah, they are bringing a punter.
Looks like they're going to be comfortable. No mistakes. Don't want to take the chance of muffing that punt back there. Comfortable with going in.
And the Raiders are just going to let this one go. That's going to end the half. So as the Irish down this ball inside the 10-yard line, that's going to bring the half to a close. Raiders with a strong first half defensively. They go into the locker room down by 1 score, 14-7. The Irish will open up the second half with the ball. We have the Irish band, the Raider band, and I believe we're going to see our 72 state championship Raiders one more time this evening. So stay tuned, Raider Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, earlier tonight we honored the 1972 Raiders State Championship team. So let's hear it for these guys all coming back after 50 years. At this time, let's focus on the video blur and relive just one more time that 1972 season recap.
In the summer of 1972, hundreds of Ohio schools learned the 72 championship would no longer be picked by the AP, but earned on the field in playoffs. And a high school only around for 6 years was determined to be the first.
Raiders' 72 season began at Mollenkopf with a 26-0 victory over Collinwood. Week 2 earned a 7-0 win over Austintown. Week 3, Raiders 14, Barberton 0. Week 4, Raiders 37, Jamestown, New York 0. Week 5, 14,000 fans, Mollenkoff Stadium, arguably the best rivalry in high school sports. Warren G. Harding Panthers 14, Warren Western Reserve Raiders 21. Week 6, 34-12 versus Cleveland JFK. Week 7, 36-20 victory over Akron St. Vincent. Week 8, Raiders 26, Akron Hoban 7. Week 9, Raiders 20, Cuyahoga Falls 0. Week 10, win and become the first undefeated Raider football team. Win and go to the first semifinals game in OHSAA history. Raiders 28, Lorraine 0. The semifinals. Raiders caught off guard early 0-15, but battled to a 23-15 victory November 25th, 1972, 16,000 fans, Akron Rubber Bowl. The first OHSAA state championship game. Cincinnati-Princeton 6. Warren Western Reserve Raiders 37. The Raiders would go undefeated and bring home to Warren the first ever state championship earned on the field and become our 1972 state football champions.
Got a game tomorrow morning, right? At Ursuline? What time? Oh no, volleyball. We didn't have to play in the hospital either. But when are you guys gonna play at home? What's the closest you get to that? JFK? When's that? Oh, you'll have to remind me that week. I forgot to get tickets, but tonight's game till 6:30. Tell your dad this.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Mr. John Pawlowski, and senior captain Emma Garrett and color guard captains Isabella Hartman and Sophie Eschmeyer, we proudly present the Ursuline High School Marching Band. Performing their 2022 show, Happiness Is, the Ursuline High School Marching Band. We kicked off archery to find happiness with the 1970 hit song by Chicago, Make Me Smile. Our journey continues by entering the color guard as they perform their 2013 hit song by Pharrell Williams, Happy. Our next selection, Pursuit of Happiness, is the 1986 smash hit by Wang Chung. Everybody have fun tonight. generations, it clearly defines what happiness is. Simply being together. From 1967, the Turtles hit Happy Together.
show, tonight the Harding Band returns to a song by the iconic rock band Queen. Here is Don't Stop Me Now.
Welcome back, Raider Nation. Halftime show concluded. Hope you enjoyed that. We saw the Ursuline Band and the Raider Marching Band. We also got another glimpse at that 1972 Warren Western Reserve Raiders state championship football team. The first football team to win a state championship through the playoff system and not voted on by the Associated Press. We saw them at the beginning of the game, got to see them again at halftime. Again, big shout out to Brandon Giovanni for putting the production together behind that. Makes that such a special moment. A lot of old-time Raider fans out here. They're loving it. And on top of that, Ed, we got a heck of a football game going on.
Yeah, excuse me, 14-7. Raiders were able to withstand a couple punches there to keep this within a one-score game. Now Ursuline is going to get the ball back. We saw at the end there, we did see that Ursuline, that big offensive line, start to impose its will on the defense of the Raiders with that run game. But overall, we've seen a pretty evenly played game. This game could easily be tied now if it weren't for a fumble into the end zone on a promising-looking drive at the end of the first half there. Dallas Jet really had the team on his back. Was able to wiggle his way down the field. Ended up with a nice run. Big hit on the ball. Ended up going through the back of the end zone. Highly disappointing. But the Raiders showing their ability to continue to move the ball on the ground against this stout offense and defensive line of the Ursuline Irish. So expect to see the same thing here. Ursuline's going to get the ball. Raiders are going to have to come out and play defense, get the ball back into the offense, but look to see a good competitive game here in the second half.
Again, this is a throwback game, so as you're watching, you see our Raiders on the field. They are wearing, in honor of the 72 state champions, those throwback uniforms, the black and gold of the Raiders of the 1970s with the Raiders across the chest. And again, those are not names on the back of the jerseys. That is the Raiders slogan from yesteryear, "We will win." And the Raiders have stayed in this football game. They have played some tremendous defense. Now we'll see if they can, they're going to have to hold up one more time to give the offense another chance to tie this game up.
Yeah, Tom, we saw some real hard-nosed football in that first half. A lot of pads cracking. No shirt tackles, no arm tackles. I mean, getting behind your pads, delivering blows on both sides of the ball. And I have to believe it has something to do with that conversation we saw taking place here in the south end zone of that 1972 team. I think they talked about blood defense back then. They came out really representing that 72 class, hard-nosed football, just really getting behind their pads, delivering some blows. We look to see a lot of that here in the second half if the Raiders want to be able to hold this dynamic Ursuline team in check. You're going to need that defense, and you're going to need it on the offensive side of the ball to be able to move it up and down the field against this just a really big front four for the Ursuline Irish.
You know, we talk about that little meeting on the sideline pregame. We saw the Raiders of today over there with the 72 state champions, and it makes for a nice photo opportunity. But you're talking to like living, breathing legacy right in front of you, and it can't help but have an effect. If you are truly into what you're doing on a football field, and you get to talk to those gentlemen and see the kind of pride that they still have 50 years later.
Yeah.
And you take that out in the field with you. And the Raiders have indeed played some inspired football tonight. And we'll see if we can do it for one more half and keep this game close and take it down to the end.
Absolutely, Tom. I had the opportunity to talk to some of the guys from that 72 team. And I'm going to be honest with you. They still got a little bit of pep in their step, little bit of a chip on their shoulder they bring in here because they're the state champs. And there's no question when these guys, when they're in the off season, when they're in 2 days there of practice, they do it for one reason and one reason only, is that because they want to put one of those trophies in the trophy case just like that 72 team did.
We saw the 72 guys come out at the halftime and had the opportunity to present them one more time with that state championship trophy from 1972. And what a moment that's got to be for those guys to hold that trophy one more time after all these years.
Well, to see the fan support, too, to know that this city, these people, they didn't forget them. Still a proud moment for the city of Warren and for the Warren City School District.
Last year we got to celebrate the 71 Harding State Championship. We got two more of those coming up the next 2 years, so we'll get a chance to see this again. And a low bouncing kick for Daugherty. That's picked up at the 30-yard line. Return man still on his feet, gets it out to almost the 45, and that's where Ursuline is going to start the second half, 1st and 10, just inside their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, going to give up some decent field position on that decision there, but it looks like they were trying to catch Ursuline off guard, maybe catch a couple of those up guys sleeping, get a quick turnover, put the offense back on the field, but instead it's going to end up with Ursuline here with pretty good field position near close to midfield.
Jack Erickson brings that offense back out on the field, and he goes right to Christian Lynch, who gets outside and left for a couple, maybe 3 yards. Let's call that second down, and maybe 4 yards. Let's call it 2nd down and 6 as he gets it out to about the 47-yard line. And so far, the Raiders have kept Kristen Lynch in check. We're going to see how that goes, too. Again, big, huge offensive line for the Irish.
Going to bring a blitz.
And this time, Erickson keeps it. Erickson's got some room. He gets hit hard. But that's a 1st down into Raider territory.
Looks like we got a Raider hurt there. Looks like that's number 20. That's going to be Raylan Weaver.
Timeout for an injury. Injury timeout.
Raiders brought the blitz there from the high side. Quarterback was able to evade it, get upfield there for a 1st down.
Gets it down about the Raider 43-yard line. And now the big question is, will that offensive line really start to impose itself? And that was the sophomore, Drew McCowan, putting a big hit on Erickson.
Yeah, you saw during that replay, it looked like Weaver pulled up lame there at the end, possibly a hamstring, possibly a cramp. We'll see what they're working on.
So far this year, the Raiders have taken their lumps, but there's a lot of youth out there that we're going to see around here for the next year or two. So I think there's a good future on the horizon for the Raiders.
You know, we talked about Ryan Powell a lot, the junior running back, 6'1", 215, only a junior. The defensive backfield is full of sophomores. I think only one senior with Devin Boss being back there. So a lot of opportunity moving forward for this young team. Getting them these reps underneath the lights is only going to play dividends here later in the later years.
You got Drew McCowan, who's shown a lot of promise when he's had to step in for Dallas Jett. Big 6'3" sophomore. We'll see him out there for 2 more years. And I think he's going to fill in and be a nice leader on his team next year when Dallas Jett makes his way to his next stop, wherever that may be.
Oh, you've got a couple guys in that backfield. You know, we talk about Aris Coleman Bay a lot. We talk about number 16 defensive end, Nazir Coleman, only a junior. I see they've got Chaz Coleman up now, a sophomore. So a lot of opportunity here in the future.
There's a quick pass out to Farrell. Farrell jukes around a little bit, gets it inside the 40, picks up about 5. That's a 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Irish.
Yeah, back to what was working in the beginning for him there with those long screens out there. The way you see those setting up, we talk about keeping those safeties deep. Beware of that double pass later in the game.
The give is to Lynch, and Lynch is hit as soon as he gets the ball, and that's going to be a loss of 2 or 3. Brings up a 3rd down and long, and again, they have kept that big running back for Irish in check. Lynch has come in here with a lot of yards gained the first half of the season, but he has not been able to break it open yet tonight.
Nazir Coleman, I believe, with another big play in the backfield. Keep an eye on him to the near side defensive end.
3rd down and 8, and Erickson drops straight back, looking down the sideline. That pass is complete, brought down by Dallas Jett. That's Bernie over there. Sorry, that wasn't Bernie, number 9, but that is a 1st down for the Irish.
Erickson with a strong pass there. Good coverage by Dallas Jett out there. Strong throw for the 1st down.
Complete to Mark Manning over there, and Erickson keeps this one around the end. He gets a few more. Looks like about 4. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 6 at the 29-yard line of the Raiders. 28 make it. And the Irish are on the move after that opening 2nd half kickoff. Trips down here at the bottom. That includes Farrell and Bernie. Those are the primary outside targets for Erickson. But Erickson's going to keep it. Fakes the handoff to Lynch. Big hurdle over the right side. They're going to throw flags on that.
You know, we learned that a couple games ago. It seems that in high school you are not allowed to leave your feet like that. Unfortunately, great athletic play, but it's going to be all for naught, and it's going to result in a penalty on the Irish. As you see here,
Erickson,
I mean, just
way up over
Dallas Jett there as he went low to hit him. Tremendous athleticism showed by Erickson, but unfortunately, I believe that's a 15-yard penalty.
So spot of the foul at the 25-yard line. It looks like they may back this up all the way back to the Raider 40-yard line, which is going to bring up a second down and about 18. Impressive play, but you can't do it.
Yeah. Trips to the near side, Tom. We've seen a lot of screens coming out of this formation.
Second down and 18 back at the 40. That pass is complete to Bernie. Nice open field tackle by Najee Jones. That results in only a 1-yard gain.
Excellent play there by Najee Jones there, number 14, junior. Out there in the open field, little shake and bake. He wasn't going for it, kept his eyes on his belt buckle, able to take him down in the open field for minimal gain.
3rd and 17. And that pass is complete over the middle of Farrell. Farrell inside the 20. That's going to be a first down Irish. Down to about the 15-yard line of the Raiders. Make it to 16.
Erickson felt the pressure coming up the middle, took a big hit at the end there, but able to deliver a strike over the middle on a big 3rd and 17.
1st and 10 at the Raiders' 16-yard line.
Trips to the top of the screen.
And this time Erickson keeps it again, and Erickson is brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. Looks like Javonte Jones was a big part of that play. Nehemiah Alexander in there as well.
You know, I give the front seven of this 4-3 defense a lot of credit there. Swarming to the ball, really causing a lot of disruption in the backfield, making those running backs and the quarterback make a lot of unnecessary moves in the backfield, allowing that defense to swarm to the ball for the minimal gains.
2nd down and 10. Erickson drops back into that shotgun position, and this time he gives the ball to Lynch. Lynch tries to bounce it outside. Now he cuts it back, and there's nothing there for Christian Lynch. That's a 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Excellent defense there on the front line. You see the defensive end there coming up, setting that edge, sending the running back into the middle where all of his teammates are waiting there for a nice gang tackle to bring up this 3rd and 10.
Erickson drops back, looking out to his right, still dropping back, rolling out now. Now he's going to keep it, and he is brought down, and he was short of the first down. That's going to be about a 4th and maybe 4 or 5 yards down there.
That'll be an interesting call for Ursuline here, deep into Harding territory. I think they were a little shaky on their 2 extra points here. They're in that kind of range. We'll see if they try to make this a 2-point. Nope, they're going to go for it.
4th and 5. Big defensive play for the Raiders. And there was a jump, and I think the Raiders just gave up a cheap first down on that one.
You know, we talked about guys going both ways, and, you know, as you get later in the game, how that starts to wear on you physically. One of the first things to go when you start to get tired is it's up top here in your head. You really got to dig down and you know, just try to mitigate those mental mistakes there. Big play for Ursuline there, getting that cheap first down.
That encroachment penalty takes the ball down to the 6, where it's now 1st and goal, Irish. Erickson's going to keep this one right up the middle, and he's going to take that one into the end zone. Touchdown, Youngstown Ursuline.
Ursuline came out and did exactly what they wanted to do, establish themselves at the line of scrimmage, able to kind of pound that ball down the field. Nice little mixture of short passes in the run game. Ends up culminating in 6 points. Going to make this here with the extra point, possibly 21-7. It's going to be time for this offense to answer.
On for the extra point attempt. It's 20-7. And that kick is up and good, and it is a 21-7 Youngstown Ursuline Irish lead with 6:46 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Tom, I don't think there's any question, you know, how important this drive is here. You see Ursuline on their last few drives really starting to get in a rhythm here as they start to wear down on that defense with a nice mix of run and pass. We know they've got that running back that's been the workhorse for him, number 23, Christian Lynch. We talked about he's averaging over 200 yards a game. This is where those yards start coming in at, is in the end where that big offensive line starts to wear down the front seven of their opposing team, and he starts to break them off of 8, 10, 15, 20 yards. But this is absolutely where you want to see this offense answer. Obviously, it's going to go through Dallas Jet. We'll see what they have in store.
Weaver, Boss, and Jones heading back to the deep positions for the Harding return team.
On the kick for Ursuline, number 35, James McGlone. Back deep for the Raiders, number 5, Javante Jones. Number 6, Dylan Bob.
High, short kick. That's going to be fielded over there about the 18-yard line. That looks like Devin Boss. Boss with a little bit of room. Gets it outside the 30. So the Raiders are going to have not real bad field position as their first possession of the second half.
Raiders found a lot of success in the first half. RPOs with that fake. Dallas Jet taking it back and finding his way around, finding his way around the edge and up the sideline. He was able to break the big one for the touchdown for 63 yards, but he's also been able to hit him and gash him for some chunks of yards at a time, 10, 15, 20 yards. We'll see if they stay with that same momentum. Don't forget about 22 Ryan Powell as well. Big workhorse, big strong back in the backfield there.
And it looks like it's going to be Javante Jones starting out at running back in the first half. That's how we saw at the beginning of the game. Raiders send 2 receivers up on top. And the handoff is to Jones, and Jones is hit almost before he gets the ball, and that's going to result in about a 4-yard loss for the Raiders.
Looks like we had a missed block somewhere. Check the replay, see if there was a blitz that they weren't able to pick up, but nevertheless, the Raiders lucky to keep control of the ball there. As soon as that ball was handed off, it's instantly, you see that end comes in and makes the big hit on the running back there.
Brings up second down and 14 as that takes the ball back to about the 27-yard line. Raiders need to get it out to the 41 for first down. We're counting down to 6 minutes in the third quarter. We have 3 receivers over here on the right. Jet goes left. He found Chaz Coleman out there gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Chaz Coleman, first time I think we've called his name tonight. Sophomore coming up, getting some time under the lights tonight. Only going to do better for him as he moves along in his high school career.
Third down and 10. Raiders trying to push the ball down the field, make it a one-score game once again. Jet again looking left down that sideline, throws behind Coleman this time. Brings up a 4th down and 10, and that's going to bring on the Raider punting unit one more time.
It looked like possible miscommunication there. The receiver was on a go route. There was a blitz that was coming. Dallas did not have time to let that play develop, had to let it go. Possibly a back shoulder throw, but the receiver was hot on that go route. Ends up in a 4th and 10.
DC Farrell, Will Burney drop back deep for the Irish, and they've shown themselves to be dangerous runners once they get the ball in their hands. Jake Dorian once again, and Dory again with a high spiring kick. Takes a Raider bounce, goes out of bounds, looks like about the 38-yard line. If that could have stayed in bounds a little bit longer, would have been a nice pump, but Ursuline gets good field position at their own 38 to start this drive.
You know, Ursuline with a nice combination of, mixture of run pass, but also the fast-paced style of their offense. Really wears down on that defense. Now, we saw some fast offense with Hudson. This is nothing close to what Hudson was doing. I don't think that, I got to get a word in edgewise where they were running their offense. But Ursuline really just keeping their foot on the gas and really wearing down on this Harding defense. We'll see if they're able to step up, make a stop, be able to get that offense back on the field and get back into the game.
Ursuline sends 3 receivers down here to the near side. Erickson looking this way. Erickson pump fakes. Erickson going deep, looking for Will Burney.
Good communication by those young defensive backs there. You saw that they were going to look for that screen. The corner was able to fight off his block, get in there. If he'd have thrown it, it might have been taken back for 6. Thought he was going to have that receiver going deep. Safety did his job, stayed back on him, created that one-on-one situation for the incomplete pass.
Devin Boss on that coverage was all over Will Burney. Didn't have a chance on that one. And again, the quick pass out to Burney. And Burney's going to get this ahead for a first down. Out near midfield. That's going to move the chains.
Looks like we've got one of the Irish down on the field. Looks like they're stretching him already. Possibly.
I think that might be Burney who just caught that pass and ran it for a first down. Down about the 49-yard line where it's going to be first down Irish as soon as we check on Will Burney down there.
It's been a hard-played game all night. You know, Ursuline right now on the winning end, up 14 points. But I can tell you, this has been an inspired Raiders team, both sides of the ball. You know, you've seen them flying 11 hats to the ball on defense. On offense, you've seen these running backs hit those holes, get behind their pads, and drive for those extra yards. You got to put together the complete drive. You know, like I said, it was disappointing. Promising drive ended up with that fumble going out of bounds. Ended up turning it over to Ursuline there at the end of the half. But just got to get back to the basics. You know, use that quickness, use that athleticism up front to beat those big guys. Run around them, use your speed, tire them out, make them chase you around.
And that's always good to see. Burney jogging off the field under his own power. I'm sure we'll see him back after he sits out of play. 1st and 10 Irish at their own 49-yard line. Erickson keeps it. Look to his right, but he's keeping it. He's going to run out of bounds for no gain. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. It looked like something broken down right there on that play. I don't think that's what he wanted to have happen.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be able to get the outside. Had his tackle out there on Nye Coleman. Nye was able to shut off that block, set that edge, force him to the outside, use the sideline as the 12th man for a minimal gain.
This time the handoff is to Christian Lynch, and Lynch gets nothing, maybe a yard. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9. And the Irish looking at 3rd and long. Once again, the defense continues to play some stout football out there.
They need one more play in them right now. They had them 3rd and 17 last time. Ended up giving up that big play. Let's see if they can get some pressure on the quarterback, make him make a throw early, and something aired or maybe a pick 6, bring it back and make it a new ball game.
Erickson looking for Farrell, looking down the sideline, and that ball is, nearly picked off and then nearly caught in a tip. But regardless, it's an incomplete pass, and Ursuline now faces a 4th down and 9 at midfield, and that should bring on their punting unit, and here they come.
Najee Harris down there with the one-on-one coverage, able to find that ball in the air, get his helmet turned around. Almost a great concentration play by the wide receiver, but like you said, got to bring up this 4th and 9 in a punting situation for the Irish.
Looking for Taryn Davis down there, who almost came up with a circus catch. Dallas Jet sets up deep to field this punt.
Now you got to watch the punter. We've watched in the first half. He likes to get that kind of that soccer style kick. He runs it out almost like a quarterback, testing the corner there to see if he's got any room. So somebody's got to keep an eye on it and make sure he doesn't tuck this and try to run it for the first down.
And another low snap. And there was a hand on that one. Now, that's going to be Raider football because there was a hand on the block. That doesn't count as a muff. People were thinking that possibly that might go over there. But partial block on that punt. Raiders wisely stayed away from it. Ball rolls inside the 30 to about the 28. There've been some questionable snaps on the Ursuline punt team over there. He's had to dig a few of them out.
Yeah, I think, I got to assume to some extent the coaches saw what happened in the first half and it put what we used to call a mush rush onto the punt because you didn't see a lot of pressure there. I think it's because they could tell, probably through some films as well, that when he's running out like that, he's judging. He's making a decision. If everybody tries to drop back and get into their lanes for the blocking, for the punt return, he knows that he's got that lane. So you do that mush rush kind of just to keep him in check in front of you to make sure you take away from the idea of him trying to sneak that ball upfield for the first.
Ryan Powell checks back into the backfield alongside Dallas Jett as the offense tries to get the Raiders back into this ballgame, and Jett drops back on first down under a big rush, and he's going to go down at the 20-yard line. That'll be an 8-yard loss. Brings up a second down and 18 for the Raiders.
Yeah, held on a little too long there. He had about 4 or 5 receivers en route. Looked like Ursuline was playing man. Wasn't able to see anything as that pocket was collapsing down on him.
Trying to get something going early in this drive, and a big defensive play for that front line of the Youngstown Ursuline Irish. The Raiders send 3 receivers out here. Najee Jones, Devin Boss among them. And this time, Jett keeps it, and he can't shake. He maybe gets 2 yards. Tries to shake off that defensive player. Can't do it. Gets a couple yards back. Brings up a third down and a very long 16 yards.
Yeah, difficult situation here. 3rd and 16 back on your end here. About the 22-yard line. Dallas is going to have to find something here. A receiver breaking open. Look for that one-on-one. Go to the receivers that you trust. It's not about the play, it's the player. Get it into the hands of your playmakers. Take a chance. See if somebody can make something break.
You got Boss and Jones on this side of the formation. 3rd and 16. Jett with the straight drop back. He's got a little bit of time. Fires it downfield. He finds a man open. That's going to make a short 4th down play. Trying to see who that was on the reception over there. I think that might have been Jacob Lawrence. Jacob Lawrence on that catch. Strong pass from Dallas Jett right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you talk about next-level type players. I mean, there's no question. I mean, that's a next-level arm you saw right there. That was a good 30, 35-yard pass across the field. And just a dart over there. Put it right on his receiver. Had no choice but to catch. It's going to bring up this 4th and 4 here. They're going to go for it. We'll see if they come up with a hard count. They were able to get some cheap ones on Ursuline in the first half. Let's see if they can get another one here.
And again, 3 receivers down here to the right. This is a big play for that Raider offense. Jett drops back, looking over the middle. He finds Najee Jones, but Jones just can't hang on to it. Just a half a step behind him. And the Raiders turn the ball over on downs. Irish, 1st and 10 at the Raider 35-yard line.
Found the underneath drag pattern, wide open. A lot of heat coming on that ball, a little bit behind it, but something that I think Jones would tell you that he should come up with, 9 out of 10 times. Unfortunately, that was the 10th time, and that's going to be a turnover on downs by the Raiders.
Just not even a half step behind. Jones had his hands on the ball, couldn't quite reel it in, and now the defense, with not very long of a rest on that one, they have to step back out there and try to keep this from becoming a 3-score ball game.
Yeah, you need them to step up here. Like to see a 3-and-out where they're at. I think this is probably 4-down territory regardless. Look for the turnover.
And there's the give to Christian Lynch. Lynch gets about 5 on that play, and I think you might start seeing a steady dose of Christian Lynch throughout the remainder of this ball game.
No, absolutely. I mean, he came in here. They knew who was getting the ball. This is their workhorse. Now, in this late in the 3rd quarter, you're starting to see how Ursuline wants to try to put the game away.
And there's Christian Lynch again, and he's going to pound this ahead for another Ursuline 1st down. Gets that inside the Raider 25-yard line, down to the 24. There's a Raider down on the field.
Injury timeout on the field. Timeout for an injury.
Didn't get to see that, but he looks like he may have taken a pretty big hit over there. You saw the Ursuline medical staff run out as soon as they could to check on the young man.
Not quite sure who that is yet. You see that that huge Ursuline offensive line just they're just starting to take over the ball game right now.
No, absolutely. And if you watch closely, I mean, we talked about that running game, and Christian Lynch, the way he runs the ball, 2 hands on the ball, he'll be 10 yards downfield, and he's still kind of tucked with 2 hands on the ball, protecting it, not really looking to break anything big, just to get that 5-6 yards of play. Anything after that is just gravy. They know they give it to him twice in a row. That's a first down.
I think that might be one of the Raiders' front linemen up there, but I haven't seen a number yet. I'm not sure who's down. Still, hopefully nothing serious. Not a lot of motion over there yet. They're checking him out.
It was a scary look when they showed him laying there. I mean, he was laying there. You didn't see any motion out of him. And I think when you saw the Ursuline training staff run out first, they saw the hit and knew it was serious and wanted to come over and tend to the young man.
2:20 to go in the third quarter. Irish sitting on a 21-7 lead at the moment. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at the Raider 24-yard line.
He is up. They have set him up.
We do. Yeah, the injured Raider is sitting up now. Still haven't quite picked out a number. And that's kind of looking more and more like maybe a shot to the head down there, the way he's moving kind of slowly.
Yeah, when the play was over, I mean, he was flat, arms to the side with no movement. Like I said, when you see the other training staff run out the way they did, you knew that it could be something that could be serious.
You see the Ursuline trainer still out there helping out the Harding staff.
So that is
Number 47 is the injured Raider, making his way off the field.
So that is number 47. Unfortunately, we do not have a 47 on our roster, so we're not quite sure who the young man is. He's up walking under his own power.
It's good to see him up walking off the field.
I think we may be, the way things look like, I think they're going to set him down and start the concussion protocol on him, make sure everything's okay. Meanwhile, back under center now. Clock ticking away, coming up on 2 minutes of the third quarter. Erickson checks off to the sideline. And another handoff to Christian Lynch. Lynch breaks the first tackle, gets inside the 15, closes in on another Irish first down. They got the hit on him, but he bounced off it, got ahead for about 9. It's going to be 2nd down and 1 at the 15. Quick pass out to Farrell this time. Farrell's picking his way through, and Farrell is going to find a hole, and he's going to take that in for an Irish touchdown, and it is now 27-7, Youngstown Ursuline.
Ursuline able to take advantage of the defensive setup there. They've been running those screens all night long. They've got the corner out there bailing on the wide receiver with the safety back. Corner's able to come up. You see him. Wide receiver gets the block on the safety who's trying to come up late. That gives the wide receiver some room to maneuver out there. He was able to plant his right foot, cut back across the grain. Easy pitch and catch, touchdown. Going to make this game 27. Waiting for the extra point.
Kick is up, and it is good, and it is now a 28-7 Ursuline lead with 1:32 to play in the third quarter. And if the Raiders want to stay in this ball game, it has to start with this drive.
No, it's no question. I mean, you got to put some points on the board. Right now, you're seeing the tides turn. Ursuline really kind of doing what they want right now, whether it's running the ball and getting 4, 5, 6 yards at a time, or hitting those short, those screen passes out there, getting the blocks and getting upfield. They're just really taking over the game right now. You've seen the offense stall on the Raiders side. At this point, you got to assume that they're really just keying on Dallas Jet, knowing that this offense is going to run through him. They're going to have to find some ways to either get him in space to make some plays or be able to free up some other players that they're not necessarily putting a spy on and getting some plays upfield. They've got people on this team that can score from anywhere on the field, be able to put them back in the game, but they've got to establish something, whether getting a good return here, putting them in a good field position, hitting a big one, or maybe a 6-7 play drive that gets them down the field to get this momentum back. But one way or the other, they've got to get some points on the board.
Jones, Weaver, and Boss are the deep backs once again for the Harding return team. And this kick is going to go down the middle to Raylan Weaver. He's going to pick it up about the 12-yard line, trying over to the sideline, cuts it back, gets it outside the 30. Nice return for Raylan Weaver, gets the ball out to about the 33-yard line, and the Raiders will set up once more, 1st and 10, and try to get themselves back into this ball game.
A strong return there. You see the returner break a couple tackles. That's exactly why they want the opportunity to get the ball into the hands of those playmakers back there, because you never know. Given the opportunity with their speed, they can take it the distance and change the whole momentum of this game.
That's Weaver, Boss, and Chaz Coleman out to the left. Ryan Powell in at running back. He's over here to Dallas Jet's right. And Jet drops back under a heavy rush again. He gets rid of it. And possibly lucky that ball wasn't picked off. That went out there into the middle of nowhere just to avoid the sack.
Yeah, that Ursuline defense really starting to put some pressure on right now. I think they know that Harding's in a position where they're going to have to pass, so they're just pinning their ears back and sending them. They're keeping the running back in the backfield to try to pick up that pressure to give Dallas Jet a little more time. That time to no avail. Dallas just had to throw it off his back foot and look to play 2nd down.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Jet goes back once again. Screen over the middle, and that goes nowhere. That ball is loose and covered up. Back at the 20-yard line.
See, they tried that middle screen again. They're letting the front 4 through, but because they're not having to send those linebackers on a blitz, the linebackers are still in position to make the play on those middle screens, able to gobble those up for little to no gain.
Hits Devin Boss with that, and Boss had no chance on that play. And you can see that these offensive and defensive lines, those big guys down front for Ursuline, they're just absolutely taking control of this ball game. There's not a whole lot the Raiders can do for them right now. You can see them just wearing them down bit by bit. Jet under heavy rush again back there. Lets it fly deep downfield. He's got people open down here. He had Boss. He had Chaz. He had Boss and Jacob Lawrence. Lawrence lost his footing. Boss couldn't come up with it, but they had slipped behind that Ursuline secondary, and the Raiders just couldn't make the connection.
Looks like that play took a long time to develop there. By the time Dallas was able to get the ball off, you're going to end up with 2 receivers kind of in the same area there. Both of them had slipped behind those safeties, but the 2 receivers being in the same area kind of brought that coverage over, one slipping, but unfortunately it's going to end up in a 4th down and a punting situation for the Raiders.
We normally like to see Jake Doherty have a busy night, but not as a punter. High kick comes down around the 50-yard line, takes a little bit of a Raider bounce, going to go down to about the Ursuline 44, and that's where it will be down. And Ursuline's going to set up 1st and 10 with 1 second to play in the 3rd quarter.
Here comes that Ursuline offense. Tom will see what they have in store here. They've been running a pretty fast-paced offense. We'll see if we start to see them slow that down and just eat up some clock.
Christian Lynch once again. Lynch is going to bang this ahead for a few yards. That's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. Lynch gets about 5 out to the 49-yard line, and so there won't be too much field position change here. That's the end of 3. The Youngstown Ursuline Irish 28. Your Warren Reserve Raiders 7.
So we're going to go into the fourth quarter here, down 3 scores. Ursuline's defense did a great job after that big run by Dallas Jet in the first quarter, 63-yard touchdown to put the Raiders up 7-0. The Ursuline defense has really been able to set itself in, and to the most part, you talk about that bend but don't break type of defenses. That's what you've seen out of Ursuline here. The Raiders have been able to establish a few drives. Talk about the one at the end of the half that we thought was going to result in some points with the unfortunate fumble out of the end zone that turned it over. But overall, the Ursuline defense, after that first score, really have been able to kind of put some clamps on Dallas Jet, letting it kind of almost like the Michael Jordan effect, where you're going to let him get his, but you're not going to let anybody else get anything. That's what the Ursuline defense has done tonight. Dallas Jet has had some plays, but overall they've really been able to stymie this offense with a big defensive front line.
Handoff again to Christian Lynch. Lynch is going to bang this ahead for another 5 or 6 yards.
Oh, there's a fumble.
And there's a fumble on the play. And all of a sudden, it's Raider football. Lynch had pounded that ball ahead for about an 8 or 9 yard gain. Ball gets stripped away, and it is Raider football on the Irish side of the field.
Interesting to see that closer up. You know, we've been watching Lynch all game, and he's a fundamental runner. I mean, he covers both ends of the ball, kind of tucks it under, gets his helmet down there, but obviously that time it looked like that wasn't even a fumble. I think somebody just stripped it out of his hands and took it the other way.
So all of a sudden, it's 1st and 10 Raiders at the Irish 49-yard line.
Yeah, you see they've got him held up, and they just ripped the ball away.
And Jet drops back to pass once again, and that rush all over him that time. Looking for Jones down here on the near side.
Again, trying that screen. He saw him early. I thought he was going to throw it to him. It looked like he was that Dallas was trying to suck that defense in just a little more to him to give his running back some room out there. Maybe waited just a little bit too long there to deliver that pass to his running back. When you see him in space, when you see he's got an opportunity out there, get it to him quick. Let the athlete do the rest.
2nd down and 10. Raiders at the 49 of Youngstown Ursuline. 3 receivers here on the near side. And Jet again forced out of the pocket, throws it down over the middle. He was looking for Chaz Coleman, just outside the reach of Chaz Coleman. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, they're just it's coming through now. You can see the defensive line just really wearing down the offensive line. Dallas has been throwing off of his back foot for probably his last 4 or 5 passes. That's why you're not seeing the accuracy, because he's really just running backwards and throwing off that back foot. He's got the arm to get it there, but without being able to use his fundamentals and get his footwork right, just hard to deliver an accurate ball that way.
3rd and 10. This time Jet gets rid of the ball. He gets Weaver. And Weaver's brought down in a nice open field tackle. Just a gain of about 2. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 7. And Weaver is hurt on that hit. Took a hard hit on the lower part of his body.
Yeah, might have got a helmet or maybe a shoulder pad to the hip there. give it up to both of these schools. We saw this game, and there was a game before where we saw the runner hurdle someone, and it's a penalty now. And a lot of that, the old school football seems to be missing a lot from today's game. But we've watched both of these teams. I think that 72 team that's sitting back watching this game here, this is the type of football they remember. There's the hard nose, just getting your pads and just cracking. That's what they remember. And, I give it to both sides. They came to play tonight. They put on an amazing show for this 72 state championship team.
Fourth down and 7. Raiders trying to maintain position right here. 3 receivers up at the top of that formation. And Jet finds Najee Jones over here on the sideline. That's going to be a Raider first down.
A nice, strong throw to the sideline there. Clean pocket. He was able to step up, get his feet right, fire a strike to the sideline there to Jones.
Raiders get a first down as we approach the 11-minute mark in the ball game. The ball sits on the Irish 34-yard line. Coleman, Boss, and Bay up on the top. Jet looking down that sideline for Najee Jones, overthrows him. That's going to bring up second down and 10.
Ursuline real comfortable with keeping their defensive backfield in that one-on-one man coverage. They've been staying with them all night, looking for the 50-50 balls. But Dallas has found that single coverage. But Ursuline's been there all night, blanketing the Raider receivers.
Second down and 10. The Irish 34-yard line. Coleman, Boss, and Coleman Bay up on top. Jet looking over the middle. He finds Chaz Coleman. That's going to be a Raider first down around the Irish 20-yard line.
Like to see those underneath passes, especially all night we've been going deep. So you're pushing the safeties back, pushing the corners, pushing those linebackers back, finding that underneath, that soft zone underneath. Nice little pitch and catch. Give them the opportunity to turn it upfield for the extra yards.
First and 10 Raiders at the Irish 20, 10-20 to left in the ball game. Jet again looks to pass. And Jet's going to go down back at the 25-yard line, brings up a second down and 15.
Talk about the Ursuline defensive backfield. That was a coverage sack there. Plenty of time there. He danced around the pocket, waited to see if somebody would break open, and maybe made the best decision by just taking that sack and living for another play.
There's Coleman Bay, Devin Boss, Chaz Coleman up there on the far side. Najee Jones down here on the near. Jet back to pass. He's got some time. He goes over the middle, and a nice diving grab down there. And that is Chaz Coleman once again.
Chaz Coleman, first game up. Sophomore getting some varsity time tonight under the lights and has made the most of it.
That's going to be a first and goal Raiders at the Irish 10-yard line. Coleman, the lone receiver, up on top. And this time, Dallas Jet keeps it right up the middle, and that's a 10-yard run for a touchdown, Raiders.
We talk about as Dallas Jet goes, so goes the Raider offense. Right there, just a straight draw to the quarterback, no thought about it. He turned on the Jets, got upfield for the touchdown. Could we see the makings of last year?
A lot of time left on the clock, and it's only a 2-possession game. Jake Doherty on to attempt the extra point. And a low line drive kick, but it's good. And it is a 28-14 ball game with 9 minutes to play.
Last year, from what I remember, the score was a lot. I think it was in the 40s. Not a lot of defense, I think, when that last year's game.
If I remember, I think it was 52-51.
Right. It was. Yes, I believe that was the final. It was in the 50s. But, you know, a lot of grit and determination kept them in that game. They kept on fighting back. And I'll tell you, you know, two-score game with 9 minutes left. But watch this defense. I haven't seen any quit in them. I mean, I'm watching them. They are hustling to the ball. They are delivering blows. And as an example, just ripping the ball away from a smart, strong running back who knows how to take care of the ball. They haven't given up yet. They've got a lot of time with 9 minutes, all 3 timeouts. Obviously, you need some stops. You need some scores. A turnover would help, but right now you need a 3 and out. You need to get the offense back on the field. You need to put another 7 up on the board.
Jake Doherty in to do the kicking. DC Farrell on his way back to handle the return chores for the Irish. He is the lone setback. Ursuline may well have their good hands team in there, expecting possibly an onside kick here. And that looks like what the Raiders might be setting up to do. Going to try to get this ball back.
Maybe find a soft spot there between the up man and the deep man.
And I think he grabbed that ball a little bit early.
I don't know. They're giving it to him on the 50. He kicked it from the 40. There's no instant replay. I think he might have touched it early, but I mean he's recovered it on the 50-yard line, and they're calling it Raider ball.
Wow. The Irish coaching staff, and in my opinion, they are understandably unhappy about that.
Yeah, you know, from this angle here, I can't tell you definitively that the kicker touched it. He was obviously following and shadowing the ball, but for where he recovered it was the 50-yard line, which would be legal. The question is while he was shadowing that ball, did he touch it?
Referees are talking it over. They may have ruled that he never touched it. From here, it looked like he did, but he may have just been riding along with the ball. And once it hit the 50,
I'm not sure what they could say to overturn it, though. I mean, they've made their call unless one of the officials can come up and tell someone that they absolutely saw that he touched it.
I think they're gonna overturn that, and I think it's gonna be Ursuline ball. Yep. So the original call was reversed after a conference. The Raider fans don't like it, but I think it's the right call if you ask me.
Well, it looks like they're giving them the ball on the 49, on the Raider 49-yard line, which would be a yard short of where it needed to reach.
Quick pass out to Bernie. Bernie gets about 4 yards up to the 45-yard line, brings up a 2nd down and 6. And the defense is simply going to have to do what it was going to have to do anyway, and that's make a stop here.
For a counter back the other way.
Erickson's going to keep this one. Almost brought down the backfield. Shakes that first tackle, but he's able to get it ahead for an Ursuline 1st down inside the 40-yard line.
They like to bunch up those trips to the high or low side there and then either get the running back out behind him, or in that instance you saw that fake counter to the running back as the quarterback takes it out around the other side with the blockers in front of him for a nice chunk to get the 1st down.
1st and 10 at the Raider 38-yard line.
This is where they like to throw that screen with the safety playing back.
And this time it goes to Lynch. Lynch is hit, but he fights his way ahead for about 4, brings up a 2nd down and 6.
As that clock continues to run.
Ursuline at the Raider 34-yard line, and they are maybe awaiting signals from the referee to see that play clock go down. There's the quick pass to D.C. Farrell, blocking out in front of him. There's a flag on the play. He might get some holding down here. Farrell got ahead up to about the 24-yard line, but
it looks like that's going to be number 2.
Bernie
of Ursuline was out there trying to throw that block, but you can see Ursuline's trying to read that safety when they've got the safety back and the one corner up. They think they like that matchup to be able to get that one blocker out there and pick up the safety as he's coming up. It's worked pretty much all night for him as just basically a long extended run play, staying in bounds and keeping that clock moving. That time, a little too much hands by the wide receiver is going to bring him up to a 2nd and 19. Excellent opportunity for the Raider defense.
Moves the ball back to the 47-yard line. 2nd down and 19 for the Irish. Erickson's going to keep this one, and Erickson's not going to find any running room at all, and that's going to make it 3rd and very long.
Yeah, still a lot of fight coming out of this. A lot of fight coming from the Raider defense. Now they want to take a timeout to talk about it here. I believe this is going to be a 3rd down coming up, 3rd and a lot. But we did see Ursuline with a crucial 3rd and 17 conversion a little late in that 3rd quarter that kept the offense on the field, that led to another touchdown. Need to really get off the field on this play here, this 3rd and long.
Just under 7 minutes to play, 6:59 showing on the clock. It's a 28-14 Irish lead over the Western Reserve Raiders on throwback night. Raiders on their first timeout of the second half. They have forced the Irish into a 3rd and 20 situation.
Yeah, you hate to see them down 2 scores with just under 7 minutes left. Hate to see them have to burn that timeout. You're going to probably need it later in the game if we can get back into this. But 3rd and 20, such a critical down right here. Want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Get some pressure in there. Make the quarterback release before he wants to, before those receivers can get anywhere close to the 20 yards they need for the 1st down.
Erickson looking for Bernie or Farrell over there on the right. He's forced out of the pocket. He's going to keep this one. And he's going to be brought down on the far sideline around the 41-yard line, but that's still going to be 4th down and more than 10 for the Irish.
I tell you, Drew McCowan, backup quarterback, out there starting at a linebacker position for the defense. You talk about closing speed. He had a lot of green out in front of him there. Erickson had a lot of green out in front of him. And Drew was able to make up that space very quickly to hold this to a 4th and 13. Looks like Ursuline's going to stay on the field and go for it.
So another big play for the Raider defense. Get a stop here, get the ball back, try to climb back into this ball game late in the 4th quarter.
Tackle out of bounds, was able to stop the clock, but it looks like Ursuline's going to burn one of theirs just so they can talk about this big 4th and 13 call.
6:49 to play. Ursuline looking at a 4th and 13 at the Raider 41-yard line. Raiders doing everything they can to keep this game interesting as we get into the late stages.
Yeah, obviously the next play is the biggest play, right? So you got this 4th and 13 coming up here. 4th and, let's call it what it is, 4th and long. This should be a keep the receivers in front of you, put some pressure on the quarterback, get him to release it, play everything in front of you, nothing too risky, and get that offense back on the field. Now, with that said, it's got to be a sense of urgency. They're going to drop back. He's going to throw some. He's going to run some. But you got to start using the sidelines. You already burned one of your 3 timeouts. You only have 2 left. You got to get that ball in the end zone. you got to try to use these sidelines, use the first down markers to stop the clock, be able to get a score and maintain those 2 timeouts. If you can do that in roughly, say, 2.5, 3 minutes, give yourself 3 minutes to get the defense on the field, push a 3 and out, give yourself a minute or so left with a couple timeouts, and put yourself in a position to be able to win this game in the end.
And Ursuline comes back and sets up in a punt formation. They decided not to go for it. Harding, again, is going to let this punt go deep. They don't want to take any chances on it. They're hoping for that ball to get down there into the end zone, and that's a nice effort by the Ursuline punter as the Irish get to down that inside the Raider 15. So they've got a long field to go. They're going to start on their own 14-yard line.
Yeah, played it safe there. I would have thought they might want to put someone back there just to give, one of these athletes the opportunity to make a play, or just put everybody at the line rushing and trying to get a block there. But played it safe. They're going to start out here on the 14-yard line, 86 yards away with 6:40 left. We'll see what they come out with. We've tried some deep shots, haven't been able to get the pass interference call, and haven't been able to come up with the 50-50 ball. But I think if you take some of those shots underneath and let some of these guys with some speed make those catches and get upfield, I think they got a great opportunity to score from anywhere on the field.
First and 10 Raiders, their own 14-yard line. And Jet, under heavy pressure, breaks out of the pocket, keeps his footing. He pounds ahead for about 6 yards, makes a little something out of nothing on that play.
Yeah, really working hard there. Looked like he almost outran his shoes there. Was able to use his hand to keep himself up. End up with a 6-yard gain, but unfortunately it stayed in bounds, so that clock's still running.
That's Bay, Boss, and Coleman. And Jet back again. Jet under a rush, avoids it, gets the ball out, looking for Devin Boss. And Devin Boss manages to keep his feet in bounds, and that's a first down. Harding stops the clock all the way out to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, stayed in bounds on the sideline, was able to go up and get that. You're going to see this great catch on the sideline. Nice throw under pressure, off balance. You see him tiptoe on the sideline there, able to keep it in for a nice gain and stopping the clock.
Devin Boss walking the tightrope on that sideline. First down Raiders at the 34-yard line. 6 minutes to play in the ball game. And this time Jet keeps it. Jet's got some room. Gets it out close for another first down. He's a couple yards short. Makes it, gets about 9 it looks like. It's going to be a 2nd down and 1.
Yep. Clock still ticking, want to get back up there. Keep it moving, 2 more yards, stop the clock on the first down, then start working the sidelines.
Jet finds Chaz Coleman, that's a first down, out to the 47-yard line. Out of bounds, stops the clock for the Raiders.
Chaz Coleman, only a sophomore, but 6'3", 175, got a big body out there on that play there. He looked like a power forward down on the post, got his positioning, was able to block out, make that reception, get to the sideline for the first down and stop the clock.
He's had a handful of big catches in these last couple of drives. 3 receivers out up on top. It's Chaz Coleman down here by himself. Jet looking, fires it down deep over the middle. He's got a man open and just through the outstretched arms of Devin Boss.
Devin Boss, usually good to go up for those balls. That one there kind of got him turned around.
Flag on the far sideline.
Let's see what they're going to call here.
Sideline warning. Looks like a sideline warning over there on the Ursuline side, so no harm, no foul as far as the Irish are concerned. They just have to back it up a little bit. 2nd down and 10 with 5:24 to play. Ball at the Harding 47-yard line.
Watch the interior receivers.
And Jet again to Chaz Coleman. Picks up about 4.
I think that one hit the ground and calling it incomplete.
Not quite able to pull that one in. On the plus side, it stops the clock.
Looks like Ursuline's 2 corners you know, they've been playing pretty locked down all night. That's why I said watch those inside receivers, watch the seams, watch the middle. Look to exploit those matchups with the safety and the linebackers.
3rd down and 10. Raiders don't need it all. They need enough to maybe make a comfortable 4th down. They got to keep the ball. Jet forced out of the pocket. Jet around the corner. Dallas Jet has some running room. Dallas Jet all the way down to 30. Jet still on his feet. Down to the 21-yard line. 1st down, Raiders.
Look, they're in excellent position. 5:08, that clock's going to stop. They've still got their 2 timeouts. Want to try to get something in here in the next minute and a half, and maintain those timeouts.
Dallas Jet all the way down to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10. 5 minutes to play. Clock is ticking. Ryan Powell in the backfield alongside Dallas Jet. And Jet again drops back the pass. Jet looking down the corner, looking for Chaz Coleman. Just a little bit too high for Chaz Coleman. Brings up a 2nd down and 10.
We just talked about Chaz Coleman, only a sophomore, but listed at 6'3". Took that shot one-on-one with Farrell. They got him listed at 5'9", had the size advantage. You can see Chaz went up and tried to high point that ball. Unfortunately, just not able to come down with it.
Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 4:48 to play. The Raiders need a quick score and somehow get the ball back if they want to remain in this ball game. They have fought hard the entire evening. There has been no quit on the Raider sideline. Staying in this ball game. 3 receivers left. Jet looking over the middle. Oh, and that ball is tipped. That is going to be picked off in the end zone. I believe that's DC Farrell once again. And it's going to be Ursuline football at the 20.
Great concentration. We talked about DC Farrell. Look, Dallas Jet makes the right read. He's got his man coming across on that crossing route. Unfortunately, just a little bit out past the outstretched hands of Jacob Lawrence there. Going to fall right into the hands of that Ursuline DB. And that's going to be a difficult turnover to overcome.
So another impressive Raider drive comes up a little bit short. Dallas Jet had his man just a bit outside the outstretched fingertips. That ball winds up.
Yeah, great read by the quarterback. Just unfortunately, just a step.
And Christian Lynch drags the pile 15 yards, 16 yards for an Ursuline 1st down. Sorry, that was not Christian Lynch. We're used to calling his name. That was Tyreek Donlow. Tyreek Donlow in at running back for the Irish. Number 3. Now the Irish may be waiting for that play clock, waiting for the hand signal from the official to get that snap underway. Quick pass out to Farrell. And Farrell's going to be dropped behind the line of scrimmage, brings up a 2nd down and 11 at the 35-yard line.
It's saying all game they're using these long screen passes, just like a sweep basically. Smart play by Farrell there. You see he looked to cut it outside to gain more yards. Realized it was smarter to break that ball back inside because at the end of the day you just want to keep this clock running. You've seen the Raiders' ability to be able to move the ball. They want to keep this clock moving. I would assume that Harding would start using those timeouts to try to keep this, to try to give themselves an opportunity. 2 timeouts left right now, but need a defensive stop.
Handoff again to Donlow. Donlow gets ahead for about 3 or 4. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Down to 3:15 to play, and there's another helmet off. That's a player that's going to come off the field for a play for Harding. And I believe that's a timeout Harding as well. Or is it? I'm not sure. I see the coaches out there.
And it looks they're bringing them over, yeah.
I think we are having to do a timeout Harding. 3:15 to play. Irish on top 28-14. It has been a valiant effort by the Raiders, but I think at the end of the day, that big offensive and defensive line for Irish, that's what's making the difference out there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I give that front, the front four of the Raiders a lot of credit, as well as the front five. I mean, to a large extent, they were able to hold their own against that massive offensive line on the other side there, but just over the game, just those long drives, that's what really wears them down is just when you got guys that size on the other side of you. I mean, they just lean on you all day and just put their weight on you and make you exert effort. And when you get down into these last minutes of the game, into the fourth quarter, that's when all that starts to show up. But, you know, I give this Raider team so much credit for the fight. You know, a couple plays. I mean, you know, you got the fumble at the end of the half. There's 7 there. You got the interception off of a tip here on what looked to be a promising drive. That's a tie ball game there.
Erickson's going to keep this out around the left end, and he finds some room out there. Big hit. He's going to be just short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down and inches out around the 46-yard line.
Harding still got 1 timeout left, and it's 4th and 1. Looks like the officials are going to call a timeout for a measurement.
There's Coleman Bay on that tackle, bringing Erickson down short of the sticks over there.
Yeah, nice open field tackle.
It's going to be 4th down and about the length of a football, it appears from up here. Clock running again, under 2:45 to play. And we haven't seen Christian Lynch these last couple series. And there's an encroachment penalty, and that's going to give up another easy first down for the Irish.
Yeah, I want to make a play, but I'm sure, you know, during the officials' timeout, I'm sure the coaches told him, you know, watch the hard count. You've seen it on both sides. You've seen guys jump off there. Just trying to make a play a little too aggressive. We got to watch the ball.
And again, Tyreek Donlow in at running back for the Irish. Erickson's going to keep this one straight ahead. Just going to start running the clock down now. 2 minutes to play in the ball game. Brings up 2nd down and 7 at the Raider 46-yard line. You see Erickson just wrapping the ball up and barreling straight ahead. So it's just keep the ball in play and watch the clock run.
Yeah, at this point, unfortunately, it's a formality. They're just going to run this clock out here. You know, unfortunate the Raiders couldn't come home with a victory tonight as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the 1972 championship team. Obviously, they'd like to come out of here with a win, but I will say from what we saw tonight, the fight that they kept throughout this game, I think it's going to be something that these guys in the stands that got to celebrate that state championship, they're going to be proud to see what they saw. And a lot of these young players, they're going to see that the program has some future. You know, we called out a name. I'll say it again. Chaz Coleman, sophomore, probably had 5-6 catches tonight. Coming up. First night he got to play out here under the lights, but as you go down this list and you see these sophomores, you see these juniors, although obviously disappointing, but the work that these guys are getting this year are only going to pay benefits to them next year. And as we continue through this season, they continue to get the reps, they continue to get the time, they continue to gel with each other as a team. That's only going to do better for them as this season progresses and as they look into the 2023 season.
1:19 to play as Harding uses its last time out. A 3rd and 2 play coming up for the Ursuline Irish. 2-touchdown lead, 28-14. And again, Erickson wraps it up and keeps it ahead. He gets the first down, and that's probably pretty much going to take over right there. I think we're going to see victory formation coming up here at this point once that clock starts running again. They get the change set. A couple kneel downs, and that'll be it for this one. Raiders are at home again next Friday. It's homecoming, September 23rd, as the next Irish team comes in. Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's comes in.
As Ursuline looks to just kneel this one, let that clock run out. You know, another game next week here at Mollenkopf Stadium. Another opportunity to come out here. Another opportunity to get a little better than you were the week before. You know, position by position, offense and defense, special teams, just looking to get a little better than you were the week before. Build off of some of the things that you saw in this game. Build off of some of these young guys stepping up. Build off the excitement and the momentum that Dallas Jet gives you, and build off the fire, the intensity of the defense. But a lot of stuff that you can take away from this game to make yourself better as we progress during the season.
Clock ticks down. 10 seconds left on it. Teams are lining up. And obviously you don't want to go down 1-4, lose the game 28-14, but boy, this Raider team hung tough against a huge offensive and defensive line. They played this team hard tonight.
Yeah, they did. You know, they came out, you know, we knew this Ursuline team coming in, you know, it was a pretty good team, especially even though a loss last week to a very good Austintown team. The way they were able to battle back in that game and make it a 7-point loss showed a lot about the heart of this Ursuline team. You know that really stuck in their claw all week. They couldn't wait to get out on this field and make up for what they did for that loss last week. But watching this Raider team and this young Raider team hang with this Ursuline team, who we said they always come in. They're always, you know, good, you know, well-disciplined team, you know, well-coached team. They go out there, they do the fundamentals. We knew it was going to be a tough game, and to see this young Raider team be able to hang with them basically until about the mid-fourth quarter. I think, you know, if they would have scored that touchdown on the interception, that would have turned everything around. They still had 2 timeouts. There was a little less than, I think, 5 minutes left in the game. Defense was able to step up a few times and make some stops, but unfortunately, just a little thing here, a little thing there, you know, and it ends up in a 14-point loss. But a lot to be able to take away from this game and a lot to grow on.
That's your final from Mollenkopf tonight. Your Warren Western Reserve Raiders fall to the Youngstown Ursuline Irish 28-14 on throwback night. Special night as we got to honor the 1972 Western Reserve Raiders state champions on their 50th anniversary of that tremendous achievement. Again, that was the first team to win an Ohio State football championship on the playing field through a playoff system. The playoff system that has grown and expanded to what we see today 50 years later.
Yeah, and you know, another shout out to everyone. WSCN, Brandon Giovanni, you know, the ceremony that they had before the pregame and then the ceremony that they had at halftime, very emotional and moving to see these guys come back here after 50 years. As I said, my wife's uncle's on the team. He's up here from Oklahoma, and just hearing him talk about, you know, the old days and the plays and just his excitement of being able to be back here in Warren, Ohio, and being able to be around the guys, you know, that he went to battle with, that he shared a locker room with. I know how much that meant to him and all the other guys, and just, you know, a big thank you to everybody involved from Warren City Schools, from the Gridiron, Brandon, and everybody at WSCN for just giving them a proper return here to Mollenkopf Stadium to celebrate that 50th anniversary of the state championship.
And again, the neat thing is we get to see that the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. But we're looking forward to next week when the Raiders play host to the Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's Irish as they come to town. Harding trying to get back on their winning track. get a couple wins with this expanded playoff system. They're not out of the playoffs yet. They're not out of the postseason.
I think it's 18 teams that go there. So you get a couple wins, and look, they got some big names still left on their schedule. You know, you end up knocking off a Fitch. You end up getting a couple other W's here or there. You never know where you'll find yourself. Last year they started out slow, were able to come on at the end and find their way into the playoffs. If they can get in, you never know. The team's dynamic. They've got players. It's just, progressing every week, getting a little bit better, taking away a couple of those mistakes, and that scoreboard can flip.
Okay, that'll about do it for us from Malakoff. Again, if you tuned in to WSCN, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We enjoy bringing it to you. It's one of, I know, speaking for Eddie, I think I could say it's one of the very favorite things we get to do every week is come here and do this and work with this great crew. And once again, 28-14 is your final. Ursuline on top. We will see you next week at Malakoff Stadium for homecoming. Have a great weekend, Raider Nation.
Good night, everybody.